All sports, all the time.
There's heroes and there's legends. Heroes get remembered. Legends never die.
This is the Spoken Podcast.
Hold your ears, folks. It's showtime.
I'm your host, Lance Twidwell.
Man, that kid, he can ball, man. He can ball.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
Patrick freaking Mahomes, baby!
Let's talk some sports, because that's what we're here to do.
You are tuned in to The Spoken.
This is the Spoken Podcast. I'm your host, Lance Twidwell, here inside the Starcade Media Studios with my guy, Trevor Twidwell.
What's good?
Episode 306 is now officially in full swing, full motion. We're so happy to be with you and for you to be here with us, whether you were live streaming, podcasting, or YouTubing. We want to thank you so much for taking the time to be with us in this time, guys, as we are finally back. And it has felt like every bit of 2 weeks since we've been here with you guys. We've absolutely missed you guys. I hope that you guys have missed us too. If not, this is going to be very awkward for us because, it's really weird when you miss somebody that doesn't miss you back. And I'm done with that in my life. So if you guys could go ahead and just tell me that you miss me, even if you don't mean it, I would very much appreciate that. Thank you so much in advance. But guys, we have a fun-filled show to get to, guys. We have a lot to get to. Some maybe not so much fun, if you will, but nevertheless, we have to get to all of it. We are, like I said, no matter what time of the year it is, it feels like there's always football to be discussed. The NFL season is literally 24/7, 365 days a year at this point. So we never really run out of things to talk about. That's why I always found it weird when other shows just go away for a while. Trevor and I, we love getting back here on Saturdays, man, because we feel like there's always something to discuss. There might be slower weeks than others, but man, I feel like there's plenty to discuss throughout the entire offseason, and it kind of holds us over until the real football gets back to things, man. But like I said, if you guys have already done it, we tell you at the top of every single show, we tell you at the bottom of every single show. If you've not already done it, guys, go to YouTube, go to the Spoken Podcast, hit subscribe, like, notify, share, all those buttons. Those help us big time, every single one of them. And we appreciate every single one of you guys have done that so far. But if you could, while we're doing this today, while we're live streaming, go ahead and hit one more button for us, guys. It doesn't take much more than just one more thumb movement. It is comment. That is the biggest thing for us for these shows, guys. We want you to be a part of the show. We want you to feel like you're a part of the show because you are a part of this show. Get in the comments during the live stream. Trevor will put that on the screen, whatever take, comment, question, concern you guys have. But we also have a dedicated segment of our show right in the heart of our show called Speak It, where it gives you guys the platform and opportunity to get all your questions, as many questions as we possibly can get in a day. Most of the times we get all the questions in, but there's been days where there's so many questions we can't get to all of them. We try our very best, guys, to get as many questions as we possibly can. We answer them as diligently and as authentically as we possibly can, and sometimes even honestly as we can, guys. So we have a blast every single week, so you might as well just join in. If you're watching, you might as well participate, man. That's the way I always see it. When you're a kid and you see your friends having fun in a game, and sure, it's fun to watch everybody else having fun, but why not just join in on the fun? That's what we say, guys. That's how we do things over here at the Spoken. But before we get any further, Trev, as I always ask you before every single show, how you doing, man? How's your week? Because this is usually the first time Trevor and I see each other during the week, because we both have busy ass schedules and it's hard to hang out a lot of times during the week. But how you doing today, man?
Well, first of all, I just want to say me and Lance are safe. This is a new setting. I know it looks like we have been kidnapped by ISIS, but I can assure you that is not the case. This is the basement.
We're not bunkered down hiding from the FBI either.
The Spoken Dungeon. I just moved into my new house, so with me and the kiddos. So this is where we're hosting the show for now. We're gonna start. Obviously, you can see a poster just kind of leaned up behind me. We're gonna start piecing things together. So this is kind of the beginnings of what this new setting will look like. We're gonna work on it, so bear with us. But we are fine. If need be, I will blink twice, so just keep that in mind. But no, I'm good, man. It's
you have a shotgun pointed at Trevor
last couple weekends
right now.
Yeah. Last couple weekends have been busy, with moving and getting everything in. Moving's always a tough. Me and Lance were huffing and puffing getting this place getting moved out. But yeah, so I'm good, man. Work's been busy, but it's been busier, honestly, at home, getting everything settled in and trying to get everything organized and all that and so forth. But it's nice. Nice, man. I'm just ready to talk some football because it's been a little bit.
I ain't gonna lie, dude. I kind of like the brick backgrounds. I kind of hope maybe we keep that or do something like that. But you guys let us know what you guys think of the backdrops right now, because like I said, we're kind of in the middle of everything. You guys knew about this. We've been telling you guys for a couple weeks now that we're going to be moving studios / houses. So I'm sure
my side definitely looks like I've been kidnapped for sure. My side definitely looks like I am someone's slave.
I feel like you should be showing some ankle right now to see if there's like a chain on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like let people know you're safe, because I don't know if the blinking thing's really going to work this time.
I've halfway chewed through my ankle just to get off this shackle, so it's not a pretty sight. But no, we're good, man. This is new beginnings. So, and
let us know how it sounds and everything like that, because the acoustics are all different too. So we'd very much appreciate any feedback that we get from you guys. It's very important that you guys are having a good time as well. So without further ado, Trevor, it is time to get to Lance Rants.
Gotta scream!
So I'm going to be honest with you guys. I had a real fun show lined up for today. I was really excited about it. I still am. Don't get me wrong. I think there's some really good things we're going to get to today. You guys know how we keep it around here, man. We don't keep everything negative. We always try to find positives in things, even after the horrific Super Bowl loss that the Chiefs faced in 2020 and in 2024. We continue to move forward, and we continue to find things to be happy about, and what we continue to be happy about as Chiefs fans. But I'm not going to lie. Waking up this morning really sucked. If you're not familiar, or if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I don't know how you don't in today's age and time when everybody knows everything within minutes. But if you don't, Trevor, we go put that on the screen. This is from 𝚂𝙿𝙾𝙺𝙴 from Fox. I'm guessing in some port of Dallas, Texas, or Williamson County, Texas. This is a report we got this morning, guys, from 𝚂𝙿𝙾𝙺𝙾. Former Texas star wide receiver and Chiefs wide receiver Xavier Worthy was arrested Friday night in Williamson County, Texas. Charges are criminal charge of assault against a family household member by impeding their breathing or circulation. The second slide will show the descriptors of what's going on, the bookings, all that stuff. You know, we can put that on the screen if you want, Trevor. Yeah. We got his mugshot, which I hate to even put out there. I don't even think I'd put it on there because I don't want to.
Consequence of choices, man.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I wanted to get though to a guy who knows this stuff in and out, Seth Kaiser, who is not just a content creator in the Chiefs community, but he's also a lawyer. This is his translation of what's going on. He said this is an assault by strangulation is what we call it in Minnesota. It's essentially an aggravated factor that bumps a domestic assault from a misdemeanor to a felony when you're alleged to have choked or otherwise impeded their breathing in some way. And this is his quote tweet from Matt Derrick, who's a very well-connected guy in the Chiefs community as well. I talked to our guy, Sean Darvishi, if anybody remembers him from last off season, out there in Texas.
Keep the tradition alive, shall we?
Yeah, I texted Sean today, and Sean was like, man, I was just about to text you. And I asked Sean, what are we looking at, man? And obviously that's such an unfair question to ask anybody right now that's not in the no. But Sean's just like, it doesn't look good right now, man, because this is looking like something that's going to be moved to a felony. And Seth, I recommend you guys go to Seth's Twitter account because he broke this all down in layman's terms as to what he's expecting. He had a tweet about because obviously the Chiefs are in that gathering information stage of this whole situation. What Seth was recommending is that the Chiefs have somebody go down to Texas today, go to the county office, and get the full complaint, the full descriptor of what's taking place, what's been claimed. And that way they'll have a better understanding of what's going on. They're not being told through third parties. They're getting direct information, and then they sit through the court proceedings and hear the entire situation play out. As far as the legality side of things, what we do know is that this is a very simple if he's charged, if he's not charged kind of situation from the outside of football's perspective.
He has been detained, obviously.
He has been detained. If there is no charge, this is going to go very differently for Xavier Worthy from a legal perspective. This will not be a felony on his record,
right,
and he probably will serve no jail time. If he is charged, this is 100% now a felony on his record.
And he's 100% probably not even going to play next year.
And that's where the football stuff comes down. If he has a felony on his record because of literally strangling somebody, we're looking at this being a situation where you may not see Xavier Worthy in a Chiefs uniform this year, and maybe even further than that. I know that's reactionary because I know this is what, and I should have said this from the beginning, Chuck. I know that this is what everybody's wanting us to say. Well, let's wait for all the facts to come out, guys. I get that. We need it. We do. I agree with that. But from what we've gathered to this point, what we know to this point as what is being claimed, we're going off that scenario. Hopefully, this is all a bunch of bullshit. I would love nothing more than that, not just because of Xavier Worthy playing football, but for the victim. If there is an actual victim in all this, I really hope for their sake this is all just made up bullshit. But if there is a victim, then I'm hoping for their well-being, and I hope that there's justice. Because as much as I love Xavier Worthy as a football player, and I've really grown to trust him as a player, if he really did this, then this man needs to suffer severe consequences. I am 100% against these types of brutal acts against anybody, whether it's a man or woman that he did this to. We have no idea right now who this was. It just said it was a domestic situation.
Yeah. I'm assuming it's probably a woman. I hate to assume that, but typically in these cases, it's usually a domestic.
Sure.
It's usually between a man and a woman. And then strangulation it's a tough word to read, man. And, attach that to a cherished player already on this team. So not good vibes in KC right now, unfortunately.
And I don't want to be the guy that ever compares criminal acts, because that's not something we do here when it comes to these things. But you can't help but do it in this situation when it comes to what's happened from just a year ago today. I think it's almost a year ago to the date when Rashi had the hit and run. It was in March as well. Mm-hmm. And seeing this now, I mean, guys, there's levels to these things. We can sit here and talk about, Rashi Rice put some other people's lives in jeopardy. That's for sure. Nobody was harmed in that situation, but from the sounds of it, there could very well be somebody that was very, very much harmed in this situation. This is a tangible act with hands on throats kind of situation. That's a different level of scary. I didn't know Xavier Worthy to be this kind of guy. We've never heard anything like this about him, so I don't know what's going on. And again, this is all presumed. This is all us hearing this news as it's going on. This is still very fresh. Yeah. But if this is the case, guys, then I do want to bring the reality of it. There's far more important things than just football. But if we're looking at this from a football perspective, unfortunately, and this really sucks to say, because I mean, we've all been amped up to see chapter 2 of Xavier Worthy. There's a significant chance that we're not going to see Xavier Worthy for some time, if again at all. Because we know how this franchise also handles these things. We saw how they handled things with Kareem Hunt. I know it was more about the lie, but there was also that factor at play because he kicked a woman, that there was a severity to that people, the outside looking in, the optics of it, is the Chiefs going to stand by somebody like that? That's the question they're going to ask.
Our guy John Harrison chimes in and says, not saying this incident is the same, but Omenihu originally was accused of grabbing and choking a girlfriend, breaking her phone. Later charges dropped, but he was still suspended.
Sure.
So,
and maybe that's what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
Again, we are
optically the league is very protective of itself.
Sure.
And for a good reason. It's a business. This is a company, and you're representing a company, and it's a God damn it, dude.
Yeah.
This is so frustrating, bro, as a Chiefs fan and we, I don't know. We always obstacles off-season obstacles we have to overcome, let alone the regular season obstacles. Yep. You know what I mean? So it's just you just can't have nice things for very long.
Well, and again, this, the easy thing to say is, well, the Chiefs got to stop drafting guys that have character issues. Guys, again, we've heard zero things about him or Rashi Rice in these regards.
Right.
I don't remember hearing anything about Rashi Rice having these kind of issues.
Yeah, we don't know the context of the situation. This could be a male-to-male interaction, and somebody was trying to assault him, and he was protecting himself, and then, the facts got to kind of even themselves out. But
right.
I'm just hoping selfishly, I hope he comes out in the clear for his sake and for the Chiefs' success sake. But
yeah, hopefully
let justice play out nonetheless.
In a utopian scenario here, Trevor, I think we both agree that we hope that there's zero victims.
Well, of course,
there's a big misunderstanding.
Yeah,
and that Xavier Worthy is, what do they call that when you're totally disbarred of all charges? That's what we're hoping for here.
Right.
That's but we got to. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. We have to be ready though, guys, and prepared for the potential of the Chiefs being without both Xavier Worthy and Rashi Rice week 1. And that is really shitty.
Yeah.
And I guess there's no better way to transition, Trevor, than the fact that now the Chiefs are preparing to now rely on, once again, a very very prolonged aged tight end who this week on his New Heights podcast, which is good news, announced that he will be returning. Let's go ahead and play that clip if we can, Trevor.
The biggest thing is that I love playing the game of football.
That's a good reason.
I love playing. I still feel like I could play it at a high level and possibly at a higher level than I did last year. I don't think it was my best outing. I let my guys down in a lot more moments than I helped them, especially if you look at my track record.
Something I want to start the show off with, because I know that this excites everybody. You know, having Travis Kelce back, this is something Trevor and I have been preparing you guys for weeks. We told you guys he's going nowhere. We were very confident that was going to be the case. And that ends up being the case. I didn't think Travis Kelce was going to go out the way that all played out. Now, there have been reports since that, because everybody's trying to figure out what exactly happened to Travis Kelce in that game. Why the hell did he play so weird? He was no energy, just out of sorts. Didn't have that leadership to him. He wasn't raw on the guys. It's very weird of Travis Kelce.
Yep.
And from everything we're hearing, he, I guess, was dealing with a sickness, and it does make sense. It does math, because Eagles also had a series of sicknesses as well going through their locker room. So that does make sense. That's not an excuse for his play. He's not going to use that as an excuse for his play, but there is context to it. And I think Travis Kelce, being the competitor he is, also knowing the fact that there is a year left on that contract, and he's set to make over $11.5 million in just signing bonuses. I think he knows there's a lot of incentive for me to come back, when also the fact is we were 4 quarters away from three-peating and being the first team to ever do so in the history of the NFL. So he knows that things are still so close for him and his team. He could still play at a very high level, because in a down year, he was top 5 in receptions and yards this season. His touchdowns were very down, but they weren't utilizing him in the red zone as much this season as well. I think that Travis Kelce has every he has every reason in the world to be back, and you can see it in his face and in his eyes in this video with his brother. I think low-key, I think Jason's very excited to see his brother play more football, because both these guys, if they could, they'd play football forever.
Yeah.
So if Trevor was still playing and I had just retired, and Trevor was mulling over retirement, and Trevor decided to go back, I'd be stoked as hell for Trevor. I'd be like, dude, go play another season, man, because you love seeing your brothers play sports or be great at something. And I think that's where Jason's at as well. That's why he was kind of giving that big brother advice at the end as well. But the biggest thing, Trevor, I wanted to bring up in this video is not just the praise of, oh, it's awesome that Travis is coming back for another year. Because if we're being honest here, guys, the biggest confirmation that Travis made in this whole video was the fact that he said that next year's not certain to be his final. See, that's the part that people kind of missed in this whole video. He kind of said it quickly and smoothly, and I think people just kind of overlooked it. Mm-hmm. But that's the part that stuck out to me the most. I think there is, and I said this on a show a couple weeks ago, I think, Trevor, I'm not mistaken, that I think there is a chance that we don't see Travis Kelce retire after this next season. Now, let's say they win the Super Bowl. They've won 3 of 4.
That's not outside the reality.
Yeah, but let's say they win 3 of 4. Mm-hmm. And Travis had a good season. He had like 840 yards and 6 touchdowns or something. There's a really good chance he retires after that, right? There's probably a really good chance. But play any scenario out, and Travis Kelce plays good football, stays healthy, still has the love for the game, and goes to the Chiefs and says, hey, guys, I'm not done. If you guys will keep me, I'd love to keep playing football. You really think the Chiefs are going to push Travis Kelce out the door?
Like we've talked about on the show, more than just football reasons, too. Like, more than just actual him making plays reasons. Him being on the sidelines, him coaching these guys up, him doing those things for these youngsters that are coming up. Especially now with the possible Xavier Worthy issue, being a guy that's been hot-headed and, dealt with his things, just having him around the locker room is huge, man, moving forward. So I'm so glad he's back, bro. I like I said from the jump, I had no doubt he was coming back. It was never a doubt in my mind personally. So this just kind of confirms where I was at the whole time as far as what side of the fence I was on. So my guy's back, man. I'm stoked for it.
And I think you make the best point, because that is what we've talked about so many times on the show. Is it's not any more so than just the production of the player,
it's the intangible stuff.
It's the intangibles. It's the extension of the coaching staff that makes Travis so valuable. And I think that's what he's going to bring more so than even the production next year. Now, I'm not putting it by Travis Kelce that he has a bounce back year. Yeah. And again, we're sitting here talking about a guy who finished top 5 amongst all tight ends in receptions and yards last year.
Especially if we address the offensive line correctly and we make this thing far better than what we had last season. And you give Patrick Mahomes time to – we all know what happens when you give Patrick Mahomes time and the plays are breaking down and Travis Kelce's finding ways to get open. He absolutely could have a better year than he had just last year. I mean, if you want to call that a bounce back year, sure. But Travis Kelce has never been anything other than consistent in his career. So I mean, yeah, I mean, I would not bat an eye if the dude had 1,009 on 95 catches.
Right.
That would not shock me whatsoever. I don't think it would shock anybody else in this league that plays against this guy. They know who he is, and that's another thing that's great about having him back this year is the respect he has amongst his peers and the people that have to defend him.
Yep.
You always have to account for that guy. So having a guy like that you have to account for on the opposing defense is just such a cheat code, man. And that's not a guy you want to lose, no matter how old he is. Honestly, at this point in his career, he's still very productive and still very skillful at what he does. And Patrick Mahomes definitely loves having that guy around. So you keep Pat Mahomes happy, I'm happy, man.
Absolutely. And I think you said the key word also that kind of segues into our next point. Guys, bear with us here. We're going to move along because we got a lot to talk about today. Obviously, we know that the Xavier Worthy story now is the biggest portion of it. And if you guys have any more that you want to add to the story, Trevor and I will continue to talk about it. But here's the problem we're kind of running into here. It happened literally last night. There's so much more we don't know that we need to know before we can react to more of it. So what we did is we gave you the bare bones of the story that we know, and we gave you guys our instant reactions to what's happening. But again, there's so much more that needs to be known. And we guys, I'm going to be on the phone all day today. I'm going to tell you guys right now. I'm going to be on the phone all day with Sean Darvishi. I'm going to talk to anybody and everybody I know to get as much information as I can, to be as prepared as I can to give you guys what I got. And you're going to hear from other people that have way more sources than I do. So stay tuned. Just stay plugged in all weekend on Chiefs community, across X, Facebook, wherever you can find it, that have credible sources. I know there's a lot of bullshit pages out there, too, that spread misinformation. I saw a page yesterday that was saying that Patrick Mahomes thinks the medal should be stripped from any player that knelt. Just ridiculous shit like that is being put out there. Yeah, so we need to make sure that you, like I said, just focus on the people that you can trust. There's going to be a lot of information that's going to be coming quickly, guys, with this whole situation. Unfortunately, this is going to be a distraction that the Chiefs are going to have to deal with. I don't envy Brett Veach now, because now Brett Veach is going to really have to pivot on probably how he handles the draft, free agency. Now desperation for wide receiver is an all-time high for them, because, again, they're probably not going to have Rashee Rice for the first month of the season. They're probably not going to have Xavier Worthy for... If I'm guessing right now, guys, if this is exactly as it looks, you probably don't see Xavier Worthy play football this season. Because if he gets charged, this is some serious shit. If he doesn't get charged, then we're talking about a different situation.
Especially if it's a strangulation of a woman against her will or something like that. Or, it's different if it's a man-to-man thing. Honestly,
it is. No, you're right.
This is a double standard of reality that we all live with. But especially if he's defending himself, or that could change a lot of things. But if it's a woman, he strangled a woman, man. You're going to get... They're going to put it all on you. So
both legally and from the league.
Yeah.
So, like I said, this is all speculation right now from Trevor and I. We're just trying to give you guys our honest feedback, our honest viewpoint on what the situation is. Either way you look at it, though, it's just a really shitty situation, and we're just hoping for the best outcome in all of this. Like I said, hopefully this is all just one big misunderstanding, and everybody just walks away from this, and we can just get back to life. That is obviously what we want to see. But if Xavier really did do something this stupid and this reckless and this careless, I hate to say it this way, guys, but justice does need to be served. I'm somebody that very much stands on that side. As much as I love the Chiefs and love the players that play for this team, if you act stupid, if you act careless, if you get violent with people, especially with a woman like this, you gotta serve the time. You gotta suffer the consequences.
Well, our guy or gal, I'm sorry, I'm not sure who it is. DBR in the chat on YouTube says just confirmed was a woman, possibly could have been his wife. This is bad. I don't know.
If that is true, this is very bad.
He is married, right? Or he was engaged or married.
I think he was in a serious relationship. I know that.
Hopefully that's not true. Hopefully you're wrong, DBR. But I mean, I'm sure it's hard for us to check our sources and check things as the show is on right now. But I'm sure after the show there'll be a lot more details coming out as the day unfolds.
Well, full disclosure, I've been getting some texts during the show. I've been reading them, trying to keep up while doing the show. Obviously, it's very difficult to do. A lot of people were saying they're speculating it was a woman. And then you started to speak that too. So I'm thinking, this is the shitty part of doing this, guys. Like I said, the show is an hour and a half after we go live, an hour and a half after the news breaks. Yeah. So this is, like I said, it's very tangible. It's very sensitive right now, guys, as to what we can say and not say. Because we don't. If I knew anything right now, guys, and I was told not to say it, I'd probably still tell you guys, honestly, because I can't be the guy that pretends like I don't know stuff. Yeah. But what we do know is that we don't know a lot. And we're going to stay there. And if any more news breaks, Trevor, you can shut me up right away, dude, and you can let me know what you're finding out. Guys, keep us in the loop if you guys know about stuff. I mean, we can definitely hear from you guys as well. You guys have, the chat's broke stories on here before. I know that. It won't be the first time, trust me. But, Trevor, you brought up some stuff. I want to move along because we got a lot to talk about today because we've got 2 weeks to really just like sit and wait, and talk about some of these things. And, of course, big news happens as soon as we take this little, hiatus.
Yeah. We
got the news, Trevor, that Trey Smith got tagged. The Chiefs were told initially, according to reports, that I think Nate Taylor and a couple other people were saying that the Chiefs don't expect to use the tag on Trey Smith. And then not even a week later, we get the news that the Chiefs and Trey Smith are going to have to deal with the tag. Now, a lot of people are asking, okay, what does that mean? Well, it's simple. If you don't know what a franchise tag is, the Chiefs are obligated now to pay in full, guaranteed, this player to the average, I think it's the top 10% of that position of the offensive line, the average salary.
Yeah.
So what Trey Smith's going to make this year right now, if he stays on the tag, is $23 million fully guaranteed. That goes directly against the Chiefs cap. John Harrison confirmed all this for me. So that is obviously something the Chiefs are not going to sit on. This is what they did last year with L'Jarius Sneed. I think it was like $18.6 million in money that goes directly against the cap. Well, they tagged him to trade him, and then the Titans overtook his money, and they extended him. Trey Smith is going to get paid by the Chiefs. And, when I first saw this happen, the first thing I thought was, my scenario is getting checked off the board, Trevor, my wish list. They're going to either re-sign Trey Smith or they're going to go and trade him somewhere because he's a highly valued commodity. He's 25 years old. He's a freak athlete. He's an awesome guard.
Top 3 at his position.
Yeah, he's very, very, very talented, very, very good. He's always healthy, which is ironic because that was one of the biggest concerns coming into the league, why he fell to the 6th round. He had, I think, a first or second round grade. And I was like, you know what? Maybe this is the Chiefs putting him out there because they knew that the open market's going to be too rich for them. They're not going to be able to compete with the open market for Trey Smith. So maybe they're hedging their bets here, where they'll tag him and see what's available, see who wants him, who's willing to not let him hit free agency. And we're hell bent. The Patriots, the Bears, they're hell bent on getting Trey Smith. So we're not even going to wait to get him for free agency. We want to trade for him. That's how serious we are about getting Trey Smith.
Right.
So that was the scenario I was playing on. And then we see, out of the fucking blue, the Chiefs trade Joe Thuney to the Bears, a team that I was expecting to be all in on Trey Smith, to the Bears for a 4th-round pick. Now, we'll talk about the details of the actual trade in a second. But, Trev, you and I were talking in live time. We were in a group chat with our dad about this whole situation because Dad was confused as hell. And, I'll be honest, I was pretty confused as well initially. And then I really just looked at this whole situation. I saw that whole week together, and I go, why didn't we see this coming? Trey Smith just got tagged.
Yep.
Which means that there's a really good chance he's financially going to be staying put in Kansas City. The Chiefs, there's a really good chance they're paying him.
They're going to pay him. Yeah.
And we both knew, because we talked about this this whole season. In 2025, both Joe Thuney and Trey Smith are not going to come back.
Right.
It's going to be one or the other.
That's why we assumed Trey Smith was probably the more valuable asset at this point. A
right.
Younger asset.
Based on age, all that stuff. But once the tag happened, we should have seen this coming. It was almost like a veil was just lifted off my eyes, dude. I'm like, of course this was going to happen.
Well, no, and then you look back at last year's draft with Kingsley and the linemen that we drafted.
Norzad,
these
CJ
guys,
Hansen,
these big body, versatile players that we drafted that could play guard as well, kind of lined it up, which could have meant either one, Thuney or Trey Smith. Those being the backup plans for those guys when they do exit. It just happened to be Joe Thuney in this situation, man.
No, you guys know my wish list. I had it on there. I said I want to extend Joe Thuney. But now knowing that the Chiefs are planning on keeping,
that he's gone, man. That does sting.
But now knowing that the Chiefs are planning on keeping and investing in Trey Smith, who's 7-8 years younger than Joe Thuney, he may not be the player that Joe Thuney is, but he is a guy that you can play for the next 7-8 years before he even gets to Joe Thuney's current age. You can spend that kind of money on him now, and like I said, really invest in that. Guys, Joe Thuney's extension that the Chiefs were going to have to give him was going to be north of $20 million a year. And we know that Brett Veach does not invest that kind of money into guys that are deep into their 30s. Even as great as Joe, and Joe Thuney is great. What he did for this team this year, he was the MVP of this team. What he did this year was unbelievable. But we also know, Trevor, that this was something that was very much on the nose of what Brett Veach does.
Oh, of course.
You got something for me?
Yeah, John Harrison chimes in. He says, yes, they need to get Smith signed to drop his cap hit down, then convert Mahomes' roster bonus. That way they could save 30 to 35 million in space to sign draft choices as well as free agents. Wide receivers probably at this point, if I'm going to add to that. We might need to bring in another wide receiver of note. There's some solid guys that were cut, and I'm sure we could talk about that later in the chat. But yeah, there's so I mean, creating 30 to 35 million in cap space would be nice.
This is the key part in all this. And John, I know John knows this is better than anybody. When it comes to the return value, everybody's so fixated on that 4th round pick, right? Well, I know that from the naked eye, that sounds like shit. Oh, you're getting a 4th round pick next season for Joe Thuney? Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
Maybe that's true when it comes to knowing what Joe Thuney is. But you guys got to remember 2 things here, guys. 1, Joe Thuney is older, and 2, the team that traded for him is going to have to give him an extension.
Yeah.
So they're not only trading for him and giving up assets and draft capital, they're about to invest money into
This
him.
was the best move for both parties, honestly.
Right.
It was a win-win for both. I mean, obviously, we took a little bit more of the L. I think the Bears have a ton of money, and they're trying to figure something out. So bringing a guy in like Thuney makes all the sense for them. But we lose a guy that's been extremely reliable and doesn't understand what it's like to not be in the Super Bowl every single season, or at least competing for one. So losing a guy like that, an asset, is hurtful to us because now we have more mystery to this O-line than we did heading into this offseason. But look, man, there's a lot of moves to be made, and Veach ain't done. So
I will agree to this. I agree that initially this is a win for the Bears. Okay, but the other part of this, guys, not only is that okay. If we have that graphic up of the 4th round picks, Veach's track. Yeah, let's look at his 4th round picks real quick through his career so far. Let's say that they stay at just that 4th round pick. My guy TJ Dash thinks they're going to trade that pick.
Armani Watts, bro, I was so hyped on that guy.
But look at some of these names.
Yeah.
I mean, you have L'Jarius Sneed, Joshua Williams, Shamari Connor, Jared Wiley, who people are still very high on, and Jaden Hicks.
Yeah.
I mean, if Jared Wiley turns into even something remotely good, that's 5 of 7 picks.
You know,
he's hit
I'm a
on.
Wiley guy. I think he's going to be really good.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's 7 4th round picks that Brett Veach has had. 5 of them will be hits. Now, I'm not saying all these guys are superstars, but he's hit on L'Jarius Sneed, who's an absolute stud.
Yeah.
Joshua Williams is a starter. Shamari Connor, who I love, he can be up and down, but he's a very solid cornerback. And then Jaden Hicks, who might be the steal of his draft class.
No doubt.
So what I'm saying is, guys, even if that is what's happening, where the Chiefs are only going to stay put and use that pick whenever that pick comes up in 2026, the faith that I have in Brett Veach turning that pick into something good is very high.
Yeah, it's 3rd, 4th, and 5th are just money, bro.
Now, here's the biggest part. We got to remember, guys, when it comes to the Joe Thuney trade, the biggest part and why, again, the Bears might have initially won it, but I think where it's going to really help the Chiefs is in cap space.
Yeah.
So Joe Thuney getting traded from the Chiefs opens up $16 million in cap space for the Chiefs. That is a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
And the Chiefs need a lot of money to open up for some of these opportunities they want to spend, especially now, like Trevor mentioned, with wide receiver. Now that you know that there's probably a really good chance both your top receivers, who we were sitting here banking on for this next season, might be out for the foreseeable future, you have to go out there and invest now heavily at probably veteran wide receiver. And Trevor, you made some good points about some guys that are out there. I want to talk about those guys in a second, but I was really shocked because I posted a poll. If we can put that poll up there of the Joe Thuney trade, I posted this poll almost directly after it happened. Do you agree with the Chiefs trading Joe Thuney for a 2026 4th round pick? 55% of people agreed.
That's surprising.
I was very surprised by this because initially you're pissed about it. When Tyreek Hill got traded, we were livid.
Yeah.
But then you thought about it, man, we got 5 picks in return. Chiefs have 12 picks in this draft. You know what I mean? We got excited after a while.
I will say it's probably a little closer to the yes, or it's more heavy on the yes sides because we got blown out in the Super Bowl. I think if we would have won the Super Bowl and then we made this move, the fans are like, what the fuck are we doing?
Right.
We just won the 3 in a row. You know what I mean? So
I will say this.
I think that softens the blow a little
I think
bit.
if the Chiefs did win the Super Bowl, this move doesn't happen.
Possibly, yeah. Possibly. Or it could, because we're still building for the future. And, you got to kind of recycle everything.
Yeah.
And the Bears probably would have been aggressive for Thuney even more so if we won a Super Bowl, because that he just proves his value even that much more with another ring. So who knows? But I think the just some significant changes on the O-line after what we experienced in the Super Bowl probably swayed some of the fans, like, okay, yeah, let's make a change. Even though we love Thuney as much as we do, but we know Veach is, cooking up something to make some pretty significant changes on this O-line, as he did after the Tampa. We talked on the show ad nauseum after the Tampa Bay Bucks blowout the Super Bowl. We had to do, and we had to change some things and protect Pat that much more. So,
and this move, I'm gonna say this right now. This move screams louder to me about anything more than even the Trey Smith move. That the Chiefs have a real plan in place on how they're gonna finally fix the left side of their offensive line.
Yeah, you don't move Thuney like that and then not expect to make some big time moves.
So let's just start right at his position, okay? Left guard. People are asking nonstop, what are they gonna do at left guard? Trevor, I'm telling you right now, Kingsley 𝚂𝙾𝙺 is winning that job. Kingsley's, guys, I understand I wrote this whole thing out a couple days ago on Twitter about how I know that there's this lost faith and lost hope in Kingsley.
Yeah, we got to stop that.
Got to stop it, guys. This kid is very, very talented. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not trying to downplay guards, but when you have a center and a tackle on each side of you, Jason Dunn said this on the show this week. I was listening to the Chief Concern show. Highly recommend you guys go and check it out. Jason Dunn broke this down. He was like, no disrespect to guards, but their job's a lot easier than tackles. A lot easier.
Especially when you got good tackles.
Right. So now it's all the
lot.
more imperative that the Chiefs go and land a left tackle and go and get a difference maker at left tackle. So my wish list, you guys know what I've been saying. Chiefs need to trade up as far as they can and try to get a left tackle. I'm here to tell you guys right now, that has changed. I'm telling you right now, it's a nuanced situation. That's why I told you guys it is subject to change, because I put out a wish list very early on so I can change it whenever I need to. I'm telling you guys right now, the Chiefs are not trading up for a left tackle. It's not happening. What's going to happen is you're going to see a veteran playing left tackle for this team this season. Whether it's a DJ Humphries, whether it's they go and spend real money on Ronnie Stanley, or they spend real money on Cam Robinson. You're going to talk about there's a significant. We got more information. What's going on?
Our guy Shaggy Shane's chiming in. Sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Worthy is denying any physical harm, according to his attorneys, saying that his girlfriend is making it up after he asked her to leave his place when he found out when she found out that he was cheating or that she was cheating. One of the two. Shaggy put he and he. So I'm just gonna assume that he was maybe cheating. And he asked her to leave because maybe she was upset about it. Mm-hmm. And that's what it seems like. Because otherwise, the scorn of a woman, she wouldn't be doing that if she was the one cheating, most likely. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she would. But one of them was cheating. She was cheating, Shaggy says. Okay, wow, man. Wow, she's going to fumble the bag like that. Yeah, this is bad. But this is some almost Tyreek Hill-esque type of situation on our hands here, man, where someone feels jaded because they know how their reality is going to shrink because they're losing an opportunity to be with someone who's very successful. Now this is crazy, bro. Yeah. I don't know. Now they're going to mix up. I don't know. I'm not going to assume anything. That's the story. Thank you, Shaggy, for breaking that in
thanks,
here.
Shags.
But according to Worthy and his attorney, this is all make believe, and I'm gonna say just from my face value judgment, just to not delve back into this too much because I know we're gonna have weeks to go. But my personal vibe and feeling of Xavier Worthy, he doesn't seem like that kind of guy.
I would agree with that.
I'm pretty good at getting a vibe on something. Granted, people always have skeletons in the closet. People can be different behind closed doors. I get that.
They can fool you really well.
He seems like a sweetheart kind of guy, though. It's hard for me to see him doing
raised by his mom. I'm
not doubting if this really happened. I am 100% on the victim's side.
Yes.
But just from face value, how I'm looking at this right now, Xavier does not seem like that kind of guy.
I agree. That's why it's so shocking.
Right.
That's why we woke up. I'm like, this can't be real. Like, come on, man.
Tyreek, bro. I'll say Tyreek seemed like that. He's kind of a loose cannon.
Well, because we had heard stories before,
right?
You know what I mean. So it's like, well, shit.
Yeah,
it's kind of on brand, you know.
And he's kind of an odd cat. So there's a little edge to that.
I'm with you on this.
Trevor seems like a sweet dude, man.
And I'm not going to let Trevor stand alone on that. Yeah. I'm going to put myself on the record here. I definitely believe
it's hard to believe.
That's why it was so shocking. Is it really Xavier? Like this dude who has a great relationship with his mom, was raised by his mom. Right. Like there's all these videos of him and his mom like crying together and talking about like how tough it was to be like the life they had to like get through and something like that. Just doesn't add up. I'm with you, Trevor, 100%. Guys, do not misconstrue what we're saying. If this victim really is a victim, then Xavier's got to face the consequence, and I fully support every nth of the law that goes after him. Like he's got to serve it. But if this is all a bunch of bullshit, then then there should be someone else doing time, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And Xavier should be exonerated from all of it, and should be able to go and continue his career with no suspension. Because that's what happened with Tyreek Hill. When they found out those videos or those recordings were edited, and it was all a bunch of crap, and Tyreek didn't really have any abuse charges on him, or there was nothing really going on, the NFL's like, well, then why would we punish him? He's a free man. He did nothing. And he played his career suspension free. That's exactly how it should go for Xavier Worthy. So, again, I know this sounds like us just sitting here, guys, posturing.
Yeah.
It does sound like that. But we are finding all this out in real time.
We're piecing this all together
and
right
we're
now.
doing a live show.
I'm just saying off my personal opinion of what I've seen and known of him so far.
Yeah.
And what I've seen of him at face value, because I don't know him personally. But, I mean, we have damn near, endless amounts of footage and back and forth with him and people and just what I've seen on and off the field. It's tough to believe, but at the same time, man, you never know what people are capable of. And this would be a sad day if this is true on his end and he did do these acts.
Absolutely.
So, and at that point, I'd be on the victim side, of course. But if the situation is she was cheating and he asked her to leave, we all know how that can go. Getting someone to admit and take their L and admit their and deal with the consequences of their actions, him or her, one or the other. It's a tough thing to do as a human being because there's a lot of pride in these souls of ours. So, man, the story's unfolding as the hours go on, and I'm hoping we get to the bottom of the truth. And whoever is in the right is in the right. Whoever is in the wrong deals with the consequences of their actions, man. So.
100% agree. And guys, keep us all informed if you guys can. I really appreciate all the updates. And like I said, Trevor, you get any updates, man, interrupt what I'm saying, because nothing I'm saying at the time is more important than getting up to speed on this whole situation. This is the biggest story by far. Probably in the NFL right now, if we're being honest. But yeah, like I was saying though, Trevor, to kind of get back to my conversation though, this now puts the pressure on Brett Veach to finally get things done right at left tackle. And there's something that I have to address directly. I listen to, me, Trevor, I consume a lot of sports content. Because I want to hear other people's opinions. I like hearing other people's opinions because I feel that it sharpens my own. I don't take other people's opinions. I already form mine pretty quickly, and then I hear others, and I try to see do I see it the same way, or do I see it completely different, or is it kind of in between? Like I'm always analyzing stuff about how other people see stuff because I'm always interested on how if I see something so differently than somebody else, why is that? And if I see something so similar to somebody else, why is that also? Like, what is it about us that sees it that way? Or why is it that we see things so differently? I'm always so intrigued by the human brain, And I listen to some of these sports commentators and a lot of local stuff as well, and I don't understand their brain function. And I'm just being totally real here. I was listening this week, and I'm not going to name him because people just think I hate him, but it's not. There's no hate there. Just I don't agree with anything he says ever. But he was breaking down how Patrick Mahomes hasn't been the same quarterback since having Tyreek Hill and prime Travis Kelce. Yeah. And I almost flipped my car just out of pure rage. Because that is absolutely false. Patrick Mahomes, after losing Tyreek Hill, did what, Trevor? The next season.
He's the freaking MVP of the league.
And won the damn Super Bowl with one leg.
40-plus touchdowns.
And they led the league in scoring. Yeah. They led the league in explosive plays. And Juju Smith-Schuster was his best receiver. What was the thing that he had that year that he hasn't had since? A left tackle. That is the difference. Yes, obviously having a horrific wide receiver room in 2023 and a banged-up, depleted one in 2024 doesn't help anything. In fact, it makes it much worse. But if Patrick Mahomes had a reliable, full-time left tackle in 2023 and in 2024, you don't think his numbers are significantly better? Mm-hmm. That's the point I've been trying to... I don't understand how people don't get this. Then it all starts. People always talk about, Trevor, how the games are won in the trenches. Guess where the left tackle's at, Trevor? In the fucking trenches. So how about we apply that to it consistently? When we talk about winning in the trenches, how about you get it right at left tackle so you can keep winning in the trenches? That's how your quarterback stays great. Yeah. You think guys like Drew Brees and Peyton Manning and Tom Brady played all those years because they had shitty left tackles? No. It's because their teams made sure of it that their blind side was protected at all times. The Chiefs can't get getting away with this. They've played in 5 Super Bowls. Patrick Mahomes had 5 different left tackles. That is absurd.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think that's it's insane.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So I would bet
not sustainable.
That of all quarterbacks that have played in 3+ Super Bowls, that he's the only quarterback to deal with that. Well, a new left tackle every single time. I bet you money he'd be the only one. He's done it 5.
Yeah.
They've got to get it right now, man. Now, I do believe because of the fact that This left tackle class is not as impressive, and we see guys are starting to move to guard. According to a lot of reports, a lot of the left tackles of this class are going to be moved to guard in the NFL. And we see that all the time. That's what Kingsley's going to become. Kingsley's going to become a guard. Yeah. It's just how it goes. Sometimes traits and abilities just take shape differently in the NFL. You're fast enough in college. You're not fast enough in the NFL. So you got to play a different position. So what's going to happen is the Chiefs are going to start. They're going to have to go and get a left tackle in the veteran side. They're not trading for one because no one's going to give the Chiefs a guy. No one's trading with the Chiefs. So forget that. It's going to be, like I said, it's going to come down to either Ronnie Stanley, Cam Robinson, or DJ Humphries, maybe a Dan Moore out of Pittsburgh. I have problems with all four, but I also understand all four. Ronnie Stanley has missed 36 games since 2020. That is a fuck ton of injuries, right? A lot of problems there. And he's going to cost them every bit of $18 to $25 million a year if they sign him long term. Cam Robinson, similar situation. He's missed 15 games in that same span. He's also been shaky at times. But when he's healthy, he's a really good left tackle. And both Ronnie Stanley and Cam Robinson played all 17 games last season. Cam Robinson, though, has played with 3 different franchises, I think, in the last 2 years, though.
Yeah.
Then you have guys like Dan Moore, who's much younger than both Cam Robinson and Stanley. They're both 30, and I think Dan Moore's 26. But Dan Moore's
the lesser of them.
Yeah, he's like Orlando Brown, but like maybe a little worse. Or like, you know what I mean? It's like very in between, kind of very average left tackle. I don't know if that's the kind of guy you're going to want to spend heavy money on.
Is that the kind of guy you're going to want to have around for at least 3-4 years?
Yeah, like is he really a dude you want to spend 18 to 25 on a year? Yeah. And then, like I said, there's DJ Humphries, who's kind of that unknown that we still know, kind of in a weird way with the Chiefs, but never really with the Chiefs. 31 years old, probably won't cost a lot of money because of his injury concerns as well. But it's been a hell of a left tackle when healthy in his career.
Yep.
So I think those are the 4 realistic options for the Chiefs right now. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think that all 4 could potentially work, but I think all 4 could really, really fail. This is going to be one of the biggest decisions in Brett Veach's career because this is a year where they're going to have to get it right because Kingsley is going to take over that left tackle, that left guard position, barring any other setbacks or somebody else comes and just blows our minds. Kingsley's going to win that position. He's going to need support on that left side. They're going to have somebody over there that is a veteran, a sure guy that gets the job done week in and week out.
Yeah.
You don't have Joe Thuney anymore, man. That protection is gone. This is a new era of Chiefs football on the offensive line. So, and I like how young it's become. Juwan Taylor's going to be 27. Trey Smith's 25. Creed Humphrey's 25. Kingsley's 22. I like the youth movement. I'm with youth movement.
That can still become something, I think, too.
Yes, but when it comes to left tackle, I now change my position. I don't think they need to go and draft a guy and play him week 1. I think they need to go and get a veteran and have him lead the way for at least a year and then wait and see if maybe next year's class is better and maybe you could go and trade him and get one of those guys.
Do you think there's a situation where we bring back DJ Humphries and like on another 1-year deal or something like that and then we still go get another veteran?
I think if they do that, then it's going to be like a Dan Moore. I don't think you're going to get DJ Humphries on like an $8 to $10 million deal and get Ronnie Stanley. I don't see that. I think that you're going to get because you know how Brett Veach likes to bargain spend. I think this time around he's going to swing heavy at left tackle. Yeah. I think this time he's going to get that veteran he's been trying to get for years. And more likely it's going to be like a Cam Robinson around. If I'm making a bet right now, I think it's Ronnie Stanley or Cam Robinson.
I think there's a lot of smoke right now around Ronnie Stanley to the Chiefs. So, and listen, he's the best of the bunch in my opinion. He's
very good.
He's protected some good quarterback play.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So he's been a part of some good offenses and that's the kind of guy I'd like to have around. He's a tough dude. He's just hurt a lot, but he is tough. But I think I think you're right. I think that's the best bet. I mean, trying to go get a sure thing and maybe still draft another one, take a shot in the dark on another one later in the draft too, possibly, or at least another guard or a swing tackle or something like that. I have blind faith in Veach though to do the right things to figure it out. Because like we've talked about on the show several times already, about the Tampa Bay Super Bowl loss, what he did after that, and the guys he nailed in the draft and figuring things out. When Brett Veach locks in, there might not be a better GM in football, man. So I trust him to make these moves correctly, in my opinion. So,
well, I'm glad you brought that up, Trevor. You keep giving me segues to move on because I did a little experiment this week to kind of see where Chiefs fans are at. You know me, man. I like to sometimes
test the waters a little.
I like to prove my point by them making my point sometimes. It's very interesting. So I did a little, like I said, a little experiment this week. I showed this tweet, if you can put that up there, Trevor, the Brett Veach draft record. Starters that Brett Veach has drafted by position since 2018. Defensive back, 8. Offensive line, 4. Defensive line, 4. Linebackers, 3. Wide receivers, 2. Running back, 1. I then, directly after that, said another tweet out there. It was a poll. What position do you trust Brett Veach with the most when it comes to identifying talent in a trade, free agency, and the draft? Oh, would you look at that? 73% of you said defensive back.
Well,
that's weird, Trev. It's really weird because, as I was told, the Chiefs can't trade a big name out of that room, and they're going to have to spend heavy money on that place because you just can't let that guy go. But everybody literally just agreed with me and the track record of Brett Veach's that he is the most capable of drafting that position at a high level.
Well, I mean, I think I'm in this camp where I can agree with you and also agree that Trent McDuffie is a guy worth holding on to, though.
Sure.
And paying.
Yeah.
Because that's where I'm at. I do agree that Brett Veach's specialty and Spags' specialty in developing DBs and finding DBs.
And Dave Merritt,
and
too.
the garbage bin. Yeah, Dave Merritt for sure. That is our strength on defense, for sure. Especially when you have a guy like Chris Jones holding it down in the front. But yeah, I mean, I'm of the camp. I think you should pay Trent and still develop guys around him. But I get it. Like, if they trade Trent McDuffie, I'll be hurt deeply, and I'll be be a couple melancholy kind of days in a row probably. But I'd get over it, and I would trust Veach to accumulate some picks and move on.
This is what I'm gonna say. We're not turning this into another version of the Trent McDuffie trade.
It's a tradition on this show.
But this is the point I'm just gonna make.
Good thing it's never gonna happen. So.
We know that the Chiefs have to always stay cheap at a couple positions, right?
Yeah.
So far, it's been cornerback on the defensive side intentionally, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they are to pay Trent, which I am in support of, again, if it does happen, I'm not against it. But the first thing I'm gonna ask is, okay, where do they go cheap, and where can they afford to go cheap at? Yeah. Are you gonna go cheap now at linebacker? Are you gonna go cheap now at defensive end? Because all those positions are more valuable than cornerback. Are you gonna go cheap at safety? Where are you? That's what I'm saying. Because everybody wants to see the Chiefs spend money at offensive line.
Yeah.
They want to see them spend money at wide receiver. Everybody wants to see them go and get an edge rush. Everybody wants to see them go get better linebackers because Nick Bolton's going to be gone, or spend money on Nick Bolton.
Yeah.
Okay, so where are they going to go cheap? If you're going to pay Trent McDuffie, you have to now go cheap somewhere else. It no longer can be cornerback because you're paying somebody $22+ million a year at that position.
And George Karlaftis in the corner like, hey, I know, I get it, man.
You know what I'm saying? So these are legit questions we have to ask, guys. And again, this is why I keep bringing this up, is that Brett Veach has shown us time and time again, I can draft the shit out of DBs. And if I don't want to pay this guy because I can continue to do so, I think we need to trust him in that as well. I'm just saying, I'm preparing fans for what may come.
You could be right, for sure.
They may not pay Trent McDuffie.
Yeah.
It may not happen. Maybe I'm not right if they trade him this year.
They don't have to, especially if they know they're going to move off of him next year and try to maybe tag and trade. That could definitely happen next year.
Yeah, man.
But don't.
Because his money's only going to go up.
My heart on my chest.
I'm just saying, if let's say Trent McDuffie has an all-pro season next year, his money is going to go extrapolate. Because right now, I think the option on his right now is like $13.4 million. If they were to wait for another year to pay him on a let's say it's an all-pro year next year, that money's going to double. And you're talking about paying Trent McDuffie $27 million a year.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, that's too rich for a cornerback, even as great of a corner he is. Because corners age quickly, man, and I just don't want to pay a guy like that. So I just wanted to throw that experiment out there to let you guys know that even you guys agree with me that Brett Veach does his best work at DB.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who's paying attention knows that. But I just have a bias here. It's cognitive bias. I don't give a damn. I know, man. You're correct. But I also feel correct and emboldened and 10 toes down over here that Trent McDuffie is different. And you just don't trade away those guys unless you're going to get an absolute haul. And if we get an absolute haul, I can live with it. But yeah, I hope it doesn't happen, in my opinion.
Well, we also have to look at it like this. The Chiefs are going to spend money this offseason now, and I think now more so than ever.
Yeah.
The conversation is going to have to shift to wide receiver again. I hate the fact that we're going to have to spend another offseason talking wide receiver because I know I spent these last two offseasons talking wide receiver. But we're gonna have to do it for a third straight time.
Whether it's injuries or off the field issues. It's like, God damn it.
Hey, unless Trevor's right and Xavier really, this whole situation is really just all one big farce.
Yeah.
Then it does change the conversation. But if we are expecting Xavier already to miss time due to a suspension or whatever else is coming about, him and Rashid both missing time, which is huge, the Chiefs are gonna have to get. It's going to have to change. Then you're talking about entertaining the thought of maybe trading for a DK Metcalf. Then you're talking about the idea of doing something that extreme. But right now, as it stands, Trevor, I have more of a conservative approach to this, believe it or not. I'm not swinging for the fences at wide receiver. This is my list of free agents, wide receivers I believe to be realistic options for the Chiefs.
Yep.
So this is where I'm at right now. I think that Hollywood Brown is still at the top of the list.
Yeah.
I think he has to be a Chief next season. I think he's going to fit. You saw what he did immediately. As soon as he played, he made impact to this offense, opened things up, made things just, life was so much easier for Patrick Mahomes. I think without question, especially with his age, only 27 years old, the injury concerns are still very much there. I am concerned about that, but they're not going to spend a ton of money on him, so I'm not really worried about them losing out of their investment if he was to miss time. Tyler Lockett, to me, even though he's older, he's 32, this man is still an incredible route runner with great hands and stays healthy.
Very smart. Very smart player, man.
And has ties to Kansas City. His father, Kevin Lockett, played here in Kansas City. So
Yep.
I am very much in support of this one. I've been in support of this one for years, almost to the D-Hop level, where I wanted this to happen for quite some time.
Yeah.
I think that now that Tyler Lockett is a free agent, I think that is a very strong possibility he comes to Kansas City. And for what it's worth, buy into it, don't buy into it. He was liking Chief Concerns tweets
That
about
stuff
him going to Kansas
matters.
City. Yes.
That stuff definitely matters.
I think he would like to play in Kansas City.
Yeah.
I do.
Guys leave breadcrumbs like that, man.
He's never won anything in his career. He's made a ton of money.
Yeah.
So I think that he'd be willing to come here for a very low deal.
Just a high IQ guy. I like accumulating high IQ guys like that. And he's definitely a guy that knows he always slides, doesn't take big hits.
Yes.
He's a very smart player.
Yes.
Incredible route runner. Tougher than you think. Undersized guy, but tougher than you think. And has been a part of great offenses.
Yeah.
And knows this game really well. So that's a guy I'm all over, Tyler Lockett. That's who I want more than anybody on this list. I'll just get out ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and then you have Juju Smith-Schuster. I think this is just a slam dunk. He's never going to be that needle mover again in Kansas City, but he's not even 28 years old. He knows his offense. He's helped this team go to 2 Super Bowls.
Beloved in this locker room.
He's played huge in playoff games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think he's such a fit in Kansas
He's
City.
Andy Reid's favorite, man.
Yeah,
Andy Reid loves the kid.
He's not going to be, like I said, he's not going to be your wide receiver 2 or 3, but I think he'd be an awesome wide receiver 4.
Absolutely.
Just a good, reliable guy that runs across the middle of the field, takes those hits. He does a lot of the things that a lot of other receivers are afraid to do.
Yep.
And that's why I love. He's a big fit.
Good blocker.
I'm a size queen here, dude. I love me some bigger physical receivers.
Yeah.
The man is 6'1", 215 pounds. That's a big receiver.
Yeah.
So I like Juju to come back. Elijah Moore. Not enough people are talking about Elijah Moore.
Very skilled player.
24 years old.
Yeah.
Had 800-plus yards last season and a few touchdowns in the Browns offense. Like, you could do that with the Browns? Imagine if you had Patrick Mahomes throwing the football. And his market value is super low. I think it's like $5 million. So you get a 24-year-old Elijah Moore to come to Kansas City after having 842 yards and 4 touchdowns. Dude, bring that on as your wide receiver 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Oh my God! So that honestly, he should probably be a little higher up my list. But these other guys I've either seen in the offense or I just trust more, like a Tyler Lockett. But Elijah Moore is a guy that I think the Chiefs definitely need to look at. Very inexpensive and a young dude that can play football. Man,
he's got a lot of skill. He's a good jet sweep guy too. He has good rushing abilities as well. Pretty fast and athletic. He's just been a part of some bad teams.
Exactly.
Worked with some bad organizations and didn't really. I think Andy Reid would find ways to utilize his skill set more than any coaches and regimes he's played for so far.
100%.
So I definitely would love that pick for sure.
I can't believe I'm fucking saying this.
Yeah, I know, man. D-Rob.
I got D-Rob on my list. And here's the reason why. Trevor, and this is proof that I am not afraid to admit when I'm wrong.
Yeah, man.
But I don't feel I was wrong at the time.
No.
But I'm definitely wrong now. D-Rob has changed his game.
He's been awesome with the Rams, dude.
Dude, he has played good football.
He's been awesome.
Meaningful football. Catching huge passes and big moments. Like, I have changed my tune on D-Rob.
Yeah.
D-Rob is turned into a hell of a receiver in this league.
Yep.
Now, he is 30. Maybe that's not something the Chiefs want to, visit, unless you're a special skill guy like Tyler Lockett. But maybe they do want to bring a guy like D-Rob back because they know him so well. And he doesn't play like he's 30. He still plays very youthful. Stays healthy for the most part. Like, if they end up bringing D-Rob back, I'm not going to be mad. I think he'd be a plus.
Oh, I would love it. Yeah.
3 years ago, I was
need
pissed
help.
as hell.
Help right now.
But I think D-Rob would be a plus for this team. As crazy as that sounds.
Well, built-in chemistry. They know he's
I never thought those words would come out of my mouth. But yes, I've been the biggest D-Rob hater in the world, and I would be okay with him bringing him back.
Yeah.
𝚂𝙿𝙾𝙺 is a guy that I think gets overlooked a lot, but he's got good skill. The problem is he plays for a team. He's played for teams that just have much better receivers, and he just gets kind of overlooked. I think if you put
player.
him, you put him in a Chiefs offense right now that is in need of wide receiver.
Yeah.
I think this dude could ball. I think this dude could give you 700 yards and 4 or 5 touchdowns.
For sure.
So 𝚂𝙿𝙾𝙺 at the bottom of my list because I like all the other guys ahead of him, but he's only 27 years old. He's fairly healthy, physical receiver, good route runner. Hands are okay. I mean, he's had some drop problems, but overall, he's got good hands.
Yeah.
I would be okay with any of these guys on the list. Do you have anybody else, Trevor? Do you agree with this list?
We do have our guy Micah Hayes
Yo.
chimes in just on this topic. Wide receiver Hunter Renfrow just announced he is making a comeback. Should Casey sign him to a vet min? I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't hate that. I don't think I'm skeptical of a guy who retires basically and then wants to come back. Even though I did like Hunter Renfrow coming into the league, he's a really good. He honestly, weirdly enough, reminded me of Cooper Kupp a little bit. He's a very good crisp route runner. Had a similar skill set, just not the player that Cooper Kupp is. Obviously, I like Hunter Renfrow. I liked Hunter Renfrow. I just don't think it's the best fit at this point. To be honest with you, we need big playability, especially if we lose Xavier Worthy for a while. Who knows when Rashid's going to be back? We need explosive players in this offense.
Absolutely.
And Hunter Renfrow is just not that. Can he move the sticks? Can he create separation pretty well? Sure. But I'm not going to take a guy off the couch right now. I'm going to re-sign Hollywood Brown. I'm going to go get Tyler Lockett's guys that are great at creating separation and have burst ability and explosive ability in their game and top-notch speed. So I'm looking for that. And I think Andy Reid obviously has shown to know.
I'm going to interrupt you real quick.
What's up?
Chiefs just signed Hollywood Brown for 1 year, $11 million.
Another 1 year deal?
1 year, $11 million.
Oh, yeah. Our guy Brady in the chat just
they said in the chat, sweet.
Yeah,
I'll give Brady,
as you were saying
give Brady credit. Give Brady credit for that
1 year up to $11 million for Hollywood.
Fuck yes, dude.
Hell yeah. Let's go. I love it. And we're just going to build on that. Dude, that has to be because of the Xavier Worthy.
I mean, I think they were going to do it anyway, but it
but I think
definitely,
that put some fire under their ass today. Like, fuck, we need to, before anyone tries to grab them,
right?
We need to take care of this and make
we're
sure
grabbing them.
Yeah. Damn.
We're going to grab it.
Let's grab it.
Let's grab it.
Grab all of it. Pause.
Grab all of
man.
it.
Okay.
Man, what a day we're having so far, man, on this show, huh?
That's good news. That definitely softens the blow a little bit to the down day so far it's been with all the negative news. So
good news.
That's good.
Hollywood returns to Casey.
Sprinkle some sugar on that shit.
Yeah, dude, no doubt. I'm sorry, guys. We're posting this as we go. This is the beauty of doing a live show, man.
Julia Gooley, let's fucking go.
I love it. Good news today, guys. Let's like I said, let's keep this positive. Let's believe that this Xavier Worthy situation isn't as bad as it looks, and let's just keep the ball rolling, man. Because right now the Chiefs just got better. The Chiefs got better today.
Yeah.
The Chiefs.
John Harrison agrees with your D-Rob take. He said Mahomes probably would like to have D-Rob back. I agree.
He caught his 50th touchdown, 2018. Yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah. He's had some great career highlight plays with D-Rob, man. That one, that was Chris Conley.
Do you feel the difference in the temperature, Trevor?
Yeah, right.
It's officially Veach season, baby. It's Veach season, boys and girls. Hollywood Brown signed. That's what another check off my box, baby.
Clear the air with E says, and please don't bring back Justin Watson. I'm done with Justin.
Yeah, you guys already know.
Watson's a Jag, bro.
Bro, I don't even have to fucking.
He's a good dude, but he's a Jag. You know what I mean?
You guys know how I feel about him.
It is what it is, but Micah Hayes says, grab it. Ayo, pause, bro. I had to throw the pause in there. I got you, man.
Yep, no problem. We're just like,
still got to grab it, though. We got to grab it. Jesus Christ. But yeah, bro, that's a good move. I'm glad we got that. At least for another prove it year. That's good for him, too. Another win-win situation. As long as he can stay healthy, I think Hollywood's still got a lot to prove. I would love to go, obviously, we took care of him and now go get a Tyler Lockett or another, bring back Juju, obviously. But Juju's going to be pennies. He ain't going to be worth anything. But I just hope this Xavier Worthy situation figures itself out, man, because you could bring back that trio of those guys all together because we've yet to see that trio with Rice and, as Julia Gooley says, Rice, Brown, and Worthy, big eyes. I mean, that for real. Like, having those three guys together, we've yet to really see it. You know what I mean? Yeah, that dynamic would be nasty in this offense, especially if we work on this O-line, get Pat some time to make plays and get the ball in these hands of these guys. This offense will look worlds different this next season if that's the case.
I definitely agree. That's it's all hinging upon because we know Andy Reid can scheme up a great offense. But at the end of the day, you know that they got to have Jimmys and Joes, not just the X's and O's, as the cliche says. You saw that in 2023, how much of a struggle it was for Patrick Mahomes to get guys that would catch the fucking ball.
Yeah, man.
You got to have capable receivers at the end of the day, man. And having guys like Travis Kelce and Noah Gray out of the tight end room is great.
That's what made that D-Hop drop so painful to watch in the Super Bowl, bro.
Yeah, that didn't hurt anybody
like,
more
that's
than
the
me.
guy that, like,
I'm the guy that championed for 2
arguably
years.
the best hands of all time, bro. Like, and oh my, now he would have housed it. That's so. Sorry, I'm opening old wounds, but god damn it, dude. That's the irony there is just.
Seth Kaiser's talking about how Worthy's attorney basically saying it's a false claim and an extortion attempt is notable.
Listen, man,
it is notable.
Like I'm floating in the middle here.
Yeah,
but this is an act as old as time. You know what I mean? Athletes putting themselves in situations that they probably shouldn't be. Obviously, that's the foundation of this situation. But also, people trying to ruin them because they know they're probably going to be exited out of their life, and it's tough, man. We've seen extortion on all kinds of angles, whether it's a romantic relationship or it's a friendship, or it's people abusing them with their money or robbing them or whatever, trying to use them with leverage and blackmail and all kinds of shit. This is nothing new.
Yeah, when you're a moving target like this, it can happen.
But we don't know that's the case.
Yes, we don't know that's the case.
That's what obviously the lawyer is going to come out and defend his, but if they're being pretty strong about it.
Yeah, and they're coming out quick, too. They came out quick and vehemently disagree.
BS on it.
Now, this is something I do unfortunately agree with. Jenna X KC on Twitter. Unfortunately, it won't matter. The dialogue around this accusation, guilty or not guilty, the reasons, what she did, etc., the damage is done from the public's perception. He's the one in jail, and it's something that's going to be brought up around his name from here on out. That's a fact. Unfortunately, she's right. This is the shit. This is why these situations are so delicate. Because if you
vet the people who are in your life,
yes, man. Because if they say this is all bullshit, Xavier Worthy for the rest of us, to a much lower degree, but I'm just showing you guys something I can relate to. A couple of years ago, when the Chiefs and the Eagles were playing in the Super Bowl, they're about to play in the Super Bowl. I was putting out a lot of facts about how I felt that Eagles defense was a tad overrated because of their schedule and things like that. I was just breaking it down.
Yeah.
This Philadelphia Eagles fan photoshopped my name and my face over a tweet that had somebody calling Jalen Hurts the N-word.
Yeah.
And it made it look like I had tweeted that. And I saw all these people react like, man, what the hell? Lance Spoken's a racist and so. And there's nothing I can do. All I can do is deny it, obviously, because it's obviously bullshit.
Right.
And I can show the screen tag that never happened. But once people see stuff like that, they make up their minds.
Bunch of faceless enemies.
Yeah, man. So to a much lower degree, obviously. I'm not trying to say my situation is the same. I'm just saying that in the regards of when people make accusations or lie about you and other people take that,
they know your reputation's everything.
Yeah.
You're a public figure.
It's so important to protect yourself, man. You got to protect yourself from the people in this world. And again, we're not saying that we know this for sure about Xavier Worthy. We're saying from the perspective, because we played the other perspective.
Yeah.
That if he made a victim out of this woman, this is fucking terrible, and he needs to go to jail for it. He needs to suffer all the consequences. If the Chiefs were to cut him, I'd be like, well, you fucking did it, dude.
We're not speaking in absolutes here. We're letting this thing settle itself and figure itself out.
Yes.
But what we're hearing, we're only hearing from one camp right now.
Right.
So, and they're coming out in defense immediately and trying to call BS on this whole situation. That,
11 minutes ago from Kirk Bowles. Kirk Bowles is a Houston Chronicle columnist, so he is credible.
Yep.
Xavier Worthy's lawyers say he asked the complainant multiple times to vacate the residence, and she, quote unquote, destroyed a room, scratched Worthy's face, and ripped out some of his hair. They add this: there is photographic evidence supporting Worthy.
I mean,
this is getting hairy quick, man. Pun intended.
I'm not gonna go too personal on this, but I have my ways of thinking about this kind of situation. This is, like I said, this is a tale as old as time. If this is the case, it's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate that if this is the case, he allowed these kind of people in his life, and this is how the reactions are happening. It is what it is, man. Like I'm just hoping that this. It's a bad situation nonetheless.
Yep.
It's either one, it's gonna be really bad for her because she's lying and trying to extort this man and can't take the L and get out of his house when he's asking her to kindly, possibly, maybe, I don't know if it was kindly or not. He could have been physical with her. I don't know yet. And it's an obvious L for his personal brand right now and who he is and what he's trying to become and his future career in the NFL. It's just a bad situation, man. This is why you got to be very careful and vet people who are in your life and who are, especially romantically, man. That's about as vulnerable as you get as a man, especially when you have a lot to lose, like Xavier Worthy. Again, this is a tale as old as time, man. You know, a romantic interaction gone wrong or a relationship gone wrong in an athlete or a famous person's life, and it can get ugly really, really quick for a lot of different reasons. But context matters, truth matters, and we're letting this thing develop as we go here, and we're letting the two sides handle this situation. But it's starting to look
pretty fishy.
A little bleak for the possible victim here, or who the victim is.
Well, and I think it goes to that question when it comes to Xavier Worthy's side of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Evidence is going to be everything.
Yeah.
Everything. I mean, because let's be real. It's in our society.
Hearsay at this point right now.
And let's be real. Can we all have a real conversation for a second? Like, I don't want anybody getting offended, but I'm going to say something. But I'm going to say something. If a woman does make an accusation in a situation like this, it weighs heavy.
It's a double standard that,
but if a man
we have to deal with.
Yeah, but if a man can provide evidence that it's false, like Tyreek did, it exonerates them almost automatically.
I mean, you flip the table. Ain't no way anybody's going to be believing that Xavier Worthy was one getting choked out here.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it is a double standard that we got to deal with. And the fact is that this has happened to a lot of women, unfortunately, and it's fucked up.
Yep.
So we have to listen to her. We have to give her side of the story. We have to take it seriously. Because if he did this shit, he deserves everything he's got coming to him, because you just simply cannot do that, man. But if she's obviously lying here and trying to extort this man and just couldn't take the L because she got either caught cheating or he just wanted to end things with her and she wouldn't leave the premises, that's her fuck up.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So this is humans are man, we're very egoic, man. It's hard for us to take an L like that, especially in relationships. We all know, we've all been in relationships and where these things, and then her, in her situation, she's got a lot to lose here too, because this is a guy that's going to be, established and, well off. And, that's something that's tough to lose. So man, emotions can get the best of us at times. I'm just hoping that the truth comes out, whichever side it comes out on, and, whoever is the culprit here needs to be dealt with accordingly.
100% agree.
So.
And we're going to stay up to date on all this, guys. As long as the show is on, we will give you guys the up-to-date latest. If you guys get it before we do, like I said, we had chat break out the Hollywood Brown story today. Credit to our guy. I forget who said it, but they said it, so give them credit for that. Hollywood Brown, 27-year-old free agent wide receiver.
Let's go, baby. 1
year, up to $11 million. So I'm imagining the guarantees will probably be about half of that. He did miss most of last season.
Incentive based.
Yeah,
I'm
guaranteed that.
There. Yeah.
But what this tells me, it's clear as day that Hollywood Brown wanted to be back. The Chiefs clearly wanted him back.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of potential here for Hollywood to have a breakout season. You and I both felt this way last year.
Yeah.
I said he was going to have right around 700 to 800 yards and like 7-8 touchdowns because he was going to be like the third option in the offense. But I could expect him to have an even better season than that this year because, again, he's had a year in the offense. They might be relying on him a lot more depending on how we know about this Xavier Worthy situation and how long Rashee Rice is going to get suspended.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce, how well he plays early on. There's a lot of things we gotta weigh in on before we can really make predictions. But the fact is, what we don't have to predict anymore is whether Hollywood Brown's going to be a Chief or not.
All right, I don't want to make this the show all about this Xavier Worthy, but this is the story of the town right now.
Yeah.
So our guy Clear the Air with E says from Seth Kaiser. I'm not sure if this is what you read a minute ago, but I just wanted to give him he's quoting Seth Kaiser here. One thing I'd note, if there have been prior extorted attempts as well as the other background stuff that's referenced in their statement, there should be some form of paper or electronic trail. So they're saying that, she might have text message with someone else that she's trying to plan to extort him, because this is how it always goes, dude. Like it's the digital footprint and the electronic trail nowadays, everything can be found out. No text message is safe. None of this stuff is cryptic. You think it is, or discreet. You think it is. This stuff can all be found and tapped into. So if she was planning on doing something to get him to hit her, or I'm not saying this is what happened, guys. Don't take what I'm saying as an absolute statement. This is not what I'm saying, but I'm just saying what ifs here, and that's what Seth Kaiser is as well. There's always a digital footprint, and there's always breadcrumbs of things that trail leading and following up to your actions. So I just think, yes, Clear the Air speaking in general, but yeah, it's important information to consider with this situation, man. This is a very sensitive topic here, a sensitive situation for both parties, because if she becomes convicted of trying to extort this man or trying to bait him into being physical with her by not leaving his premises and forcing him maybe to give her, similar to the Tyreek Hill situation when she didn't want to leave his place. He kind of had to carry her out.
Yep.
But, because that is his home, it's tough, man. This is a very sticky situation, so we're in it right now. We're live. We're in this thing, so I'm hoping the best for whoever is in the right here. That's where I'm at, man. This is a tough scenario to even dissect, but that's a good point though by Seth Kaiser, obviously with his lawyer.
And he's one of the guys to be listening to in this situation. I'm gonna hit my guy Real Bird Lawyer up as well about this as well.
Micah Hayes says they still haven't given Worthy a bond yet, still in jail.
Yeah.
He's detained. I'm sure it's just a lot of questioning going on, guys. They're trying to get their stories right, and he's not speaking at all. He's letting his lawyer do the speaking for him, which is wise. But yeah, it just sucks, man. It's a shitty thing.
My boy D-Mac is saying it's Sky Moore season. I might block him.
Bro, Scott, I don't think Sky's going to be on this roster, man.
There's no way in hell. There's no way in hell Sky Moore ever steps foot on the football field.
Unless Tobe just vouches for him. And
he may never play football again in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, he's that bad.
Yeah. Man, what a wild day.
Yeah, I'm like afraid to even progress because I feel like we're just gonna, let's do this. How about we do this? Let's just get to the people right now. I'm sure there's questions that are being asked. Let's go ahead and just get to that. And if news is breaking, let's just keep that going. Let's just keep it real fluid, Trev. So let's just get to speaking now.
Okay.
I think we've talked enough from our end.
Yeah,
it's the people, man.
All right, let's do it. Let's see. So Micah Hayes. Do you guys like Jets inside linebacker Jamian Sherwood as a free agent to replace Bolton? He is 25, had a higher PFF. Yeah, PFF. Had a higher PFF than Bolton and reportedly is only asking for $10 million a year.
Well, that's the problem. I just don't know if the Chiefs are going to be willing to spend $10 million a year on any vet or any free agent linebacker.
If we're going to pay another guy $10 million a year, I'd just rather pay Nick Bolton like $12 a year.
That's the thing. If that's what it comes down to, then keep Nick Bolton.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's going to be $10 million for bringing in Sherwood, who's the exact same age as Nick Bolton,
and we just trust,
or keep Nick Bolton for $2-3 million more. Keep Nick Bolton.
Clear the area with E. Nails it on the head here. Bring back Willie Gay, of course.
I think
that's the move
happen.
I would love to make.
I think and he's going to be very inexpensive, and that's on my wish list as well.
Yeah.
Willie Gay is a guy that I think is very much on the Chiefs' radar. 27 years old, just played in this defense for 4 years.
Just a great fit, man. With the
energy guy, he's a physical freak. I mean, he's an absolute freak. I think right now it's like an 80% chance that Willie Gay is back in Kansas City.
Dude, I would love that. Yeah. Just for morale and just the guys love him.
But to the point of Sherwood, I would be all about him being here.
Sure.
But I don't think he's making $10 million a year. Yeah, I sure would. I sure would sign him.
I sure would, yeah.
No, I think that if the Chiefs could get him for like, let's say that, because a guy like 20 that's 25, you want to get like a 3-year deal. So if they were like, hey, we'll pay you 3 years, $24 million.
Yeah.
I would do that.
Yeah.
$8 million a year for sure. He's gonna have to take a little less to come to Kansas City.
I think players would do that.
I mean, maybe not.
I'm just saying.
If Sherwood's getting like, let's say like the Panthers or somebody are like, hey, we'll give you $36 million. He's making $12 million more than the Chiefs.
Comes in with like laminated prints of his PFF grade. Like, look, guys,
Chris Collinsworth set up good. You know what I mean? So yeah.
My resume.
Yeah.
PFF.
I mean, Sherwood is good. I do agree. Yeah. He's a very good linebacker, and he's young. But if it came down to a couple $1 million for him and Nick Bolton, I'm keeping Nick Bolton.
But he's also coming from the Jets. So you go from the Jets to the Chiefs, that's a upgrade in itself. You could take a couple at less millions,
and the taxes are way lower too. So you may be making $8 million to $10.
Right.
But are you really making that much? That less.
Yeah, you come
money,
to the Midwest. You're getting more bang for your buck for sure. John Harrison. Veach said Kelce was battling a bad illness. Kelce said he let his teammates down. Does that mean he went out and partied too much, hence let the team down?
No, I'm not going to go there.
Yeah.
I think Travis Kelce is an adult, and I think that the three-peat was everything to him. I don't think they were out partying late. I know that there were pictures of him, Patrick, Brittany, and Taylor out having dinner about 8:30 at night. I mean, that doesn't mean they were
New
partying.
Orleans, man.
Yeah,
I respect. Of course.
That doesn't mean they were partying. They had dinner the night before. I think what happened is that Travis got sick.
I think things were going around. It wasn't just the Chiefs locker room; it was the Eagles too.
Exactly.
Things were spreading around, man.
I don't want to be the guy that even like entertains it unless we have proof that like if there's a picture of him at a nightclub at like 12:30 at night, I'd be like, well, that looks bad.
Yeah.
But there's nothing of that, and I think that Travis being a polarizing 6'5", 250-pound man, somebody would have a picture of him out.
One of the most
clubbing.
famous people in the world. Yeah.
During Super Bowl weekend, yeah, I have an indication somebody would have had at least one snapped photo of Travis Kelce at a party or at a club late at night. There's zero that tends to believe that he was very responsible as a 35-year-old man, a responsible adult, probably went home at 9:30. Maybe he did have a drink or two. Who's to say?
Yeah.
I don't think that's the reason why he didn't play well. I think he legit got sick.
He was sick, man. It's really unfortunate, and it kind of showed in the game, honestly. But Julia Gulia, am I weird for wanting a defensive tackle or an edge with the first 2 picks?
Absolutely not.
In fact, that's what I want.
Where I'm standing right now, that is where I'm at too, Julia. Yeah. I think that's the most responsible thing the Chiefs can do is add young stud talent around Chris Jones. That is where this defense is at its best. That is where your defense is built upon is Chris Jones. Give him more talent. I would love to see an edge rusher or an interior defensive lineman added immediately to this defense. And the great thing about this draft is there's a ton of studs in this draft in those 2 positions.
A lot of DBs, a lot of defensive linemen in this draft.
Defensive line is where I think the Chiefs should go first round right now. At 31, there's still going to be some names, and I will give you guys those names if I'm still sitting here in April before the draft, ready to give you guys my predictions. If everything stays the same, and let's say Chiefs go get Ronnie Stanley, or they go get a Cam Robinson, or DJ Humphries, I do believe the Chiefs avoid drafting a left tackle first. I think they avoid trading Trent McDuffie or anything like that, and they give it another year. They give it another year to weigh their options out. Because the great thing even about the whole Trent McDuffie thing is they have 2 years of control still on him.
Yeah.
This is his 4th season with the 5th-year option in play.
Sure.
Which they're 100% going to pick up.
And they can tag him that 5th year.
Yeah, they can tag him, exactly.
Yeah, so you get, 5.5 years out of that guy, and then you can walk away.
They never paid Trent McDuffie is what I'm saying.
Still very much be in his prime. You could trade him for assets.
Twice. So he'd be like 27 years old before he even would get a long-term deal.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, guys.
He's a Ring of Honor guy for me, man. A future Ring of Honor guy, I think.
If he plays until 27, he might still be.
Sure.
If he gets like
we're talking about
he's like a 4-time All-Pro, like come on, man. Like
yeah, no doubt.
He would be one of the greatest cornerbacks in Chiefs history.
Yeah. It's back to the Travis Kelce conversation. Clear the air with E says, I think Kelce was bigger than football last year, and he still was great last year, and I don't blame T Swift either. He just had a lot going on in 2025. He is going to shock a lot of people.
Well, and maybe you're right, or maybe just the fact he's 35 years old.
Well, he's also saying in this next season he thinks he's going to shock a lot of people, so he thinks he's going to maybe refocus. I don't think he was. I think Kelce was locked in last year, guys. Yeah. I didn't think that there was a lot of problems in this offensive line and moving things around, and Patrick being uncomfortable and not having, and then obviously losing immediately losing 2 your stud receivers.
Yeah.
And then depending on a rookie receiver to develop a little quicker than he should have. There was a lot of things going on wrong last year. We still made the Super Bowl, guys.
Yeah, the Chiefs did not.
Kelce still had 95 plus catches.
The Chiefs had the worst left tackle situation in the NFL.
Yeah,
and had a bottom 5 wide receiver room.
Yeah,
and their only reliable, like explosive running back.
I think we're focusing too much on
10 weeks
Kelce and what he was to the team last year. I think we're focusing a little too much on that. We overcame a lot of odds, and we still made the fucking Super Bowl for a 3rd straight year, and we're definitely looking to making it for a 4th straight year. And Kelce's going to be a bigger part of that this year, I think, than last year.
I think if Travis Kelce was like 27 or 28 years old and started dating Taylor Swift, that would have been a legit concern.
Sure.
I think he's grown up a lot of these last 4 or 5 years. Since they started winning Super Bowls.
He's so famous that he's an easy scapegoat to say when things go wrong. I'm not. I don't know. Outside of Patrick Mahomes, I'm not worried about Travis Kelce than any other player on this team.
Exactly.
I've never been the guy like, and Chris Jones. But even then, Chris Jones actually held out. Travis Kelce's never done anything like that. You know what I'm saying? And Chris Jones had every right to do that. But I'm saying, like, I've never been the guy that's, like, worried about Travis Kelce in his personal life and, like, letting it linger into that's a false narrative.
At least for the last, like, 10 years.
But Travis Kelce's always been great. Every season.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's never affected his play.
Yeah.
Like, this is I don't know, man. I've never been bought into that kind of narrative, in my personal opinion. The Kelce boys are football players, man. This is what they do. This is the game they love, and they've always been great every single season that they play. I've never bought into like the T Swift, the Hollywood stuff, like, distracting him. That's never been the only thing that ever distracted Travis Kelce was early on in his career, and it was just himself. It was his own antics that was, giving him issues in as far as his game and getting in his own head. But after he kind of grew up, Travis Kelce's been the best tight end of all time.
Right.
So I've never bought into that narrative, man. Even with the guy being out there partying, and I've seen him out there at Westport myself. The guy parties, and he's still the best in the game. So
I've actually partied with him.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I've had. Yeah, I mean,
I don't think I've ever told that. I'm not going to, but yeah,
for sure. But let's see. We got Micah Hayes here. What wide receiver do you like round 1 if it looks like Worthy would be suspended or cut. Ryan at RGR and myself like wide receiver from CSU, Torrey Horton as a steal in the 3rd or 4th round.
3rd or 4th round, sure. Yeah, if he could fall that far. I mean, look, if it's the 1st round, I mean, Egbuka, I like him out of Ohio State. I think that he'd probably be there 31. Or Trey Harris out of Ole Miss. Like the thing I like, I was actually thinking of a guy, Trevor, Jalen Royals. I forget what school does he go to. Let me look that up real quick. Jalen Royals. I think it was. Oh God, where did he go?
Jalen Royals.
Yeah, I thought that'd be fitting if he came to Kansas City.
Royals.
Yeah, but like he went to Utah State. Okay, yeah, Jalen Royals. I thought that'd be a fitting name. He has that skill set that I like out of receivers. But there is a list of names. Like I said, Trey Harris or Emike Egbuka. I think I'm saying his name right. Luther Burden out of Mizzou. Those are guys that may fall or may not. Those are guys that I can see going to the first 15 picks or going into the 2nd round. It's going to really depend on what those, because we don't know what the Titans are. This is one of those draft classes. We have no idea what's going to happen with the first pick.
I don't think we draft a wide receiver in the first 2 rounds.
No, definitely not.
Yeah,
I think the Chiefs though with the first. Let's say we find out that Xavier Worthy
value falls in the 4th though for sure. I think,
but let's say Xavier Worthy is suspended.
Yeah.
Then I do think the first 3 picks of the Chiefs have to go wide receiver. Because even with Hollywood Brown, they're going to have to start. They have to have bodies, and you have to have talent. You can't say, "All right, we got Hollywood Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, and we picked up this guy in the 5th round." No, you can't do that. So I do think if the situation gets dire here in Kansas City, that would happen. My vote though is I think this draft class needs to be defensive heavy.
Yep.
I think they need to fill some holes on defense, get another linebacker, get another cornerback, definitely get edge rush and defensive line presence. Those are the first 2 things.
More DBs.
But on offense, I think they're going to spend money. I think they're spending money at left tackle. They're spending money, obviously, already at wide receiver.
Yeah.
I think that's where they're going to spend money is on offense.
Yeah, I agree. Micah Hayes with another question. Thank you, Micah, bro, for chiming in, bro. All these questions, I appreciate you. Outside linebacker, defensive end, Harold Landry just got cut. Only 28. Is he a fit in KC? What type of contract should we offer if he is a fit? I love that.
Is he a fit though? I don't really know schematically if he is. Yeah,
I like Harold Landry though.
Yeah, again,
especially only 28.
When it comes to free agents,
always been a productive player.
When it comes to veteran free agents on the defensive side, the first thing I'm going to ask is what is their market value?
Sure.
Because we know the Chiefs have not, outside of Chris Jones, they don't spend money on defense. Even Drew Tranquil's deal was super cheap. Charles Omenihu, 2 years, $25 million. That's nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, for an awesome pass rusher who's 25 years old, so it's going to be bargain spending. If Harold Landry at 28 wants to come here for a 1-year deal for $8 million, $9 million,
like Omenihu's not going to be back from what he's been saying.
It does feel that way.
That's one thing.
It does feel that way.
He kind of rubs me the wrong way sometimes. I love the guy, but it's like,
he acts like a 13-year-old on MySpace, dude.
Yeah, you ain't got to say all that shit, bro.
I'm sorry, Charles is going to call me out again.
Yeah, I love him, man. I want Chucky back, but dude, what? It is ignorant. I don't know. My opinion, but yeah, I mean Harold Landry. It depends, man. And I think Veach is out here exploring every option, man. I think Veach is dipping his toes in everybody's pools, bro. Seeing what checking the temperature on all these guys.
Yep,
for sure. So Harold Landry's always been a productive player, as far as I know, and as far as I've seen him play. In 28, he's still in the prime of his career. Now he's a free agent. I mean, it depends on the money, dollar signs. How much?
And I think he would only get a 1-year deal here in Kansas City.
Sure. Julia Gulia. How early do you pick a running back, or does Veach go undrafted free agent or for that?
No, if I'm the Chiefs this year, I go with one of those 60s picks. I think they have the 63rd and the 66th. One of those 2 picks has to be a running back. I think there's going to be some good running backs that fall into the late 2nd, early 3rd.
Yeah.
And that is when you hit.
Yeah.
My guy Tasia Dash, Marcus Dash's brother from Chief Concerns, him and I had a long conversation the other night, and he believes there's going to be some real talent in the 3rd and 4th round at running back. That's where him and I vehemently agree.
I want a full package guy, man. I want a guy that can catch the ball, but I want a guy that has that cream hunt, early cream hunt days time. They can do it all.
The Dash brothers are very big on Judkins out of Ohio State.
Okay.
I would love him. I would love the kid Johnson from Iowa. I have a lot of bias towards Devin Neal from Kansas. I've watched his entire career. This kid is, I think, everything you'd want a running back. Yes,
he does everything.
I want Devin Neal. Devin Neal is, I think, and maybe I'll be wrong. I don't think I'm going to be. I think if the Chiefs landed Devin Neal,
I want a
and
bruiser.
I
He's
put
a bruiser, man.
I put this on Twitter, Trevor, and I mean this. I stand by this. Maybe not stylistically, but he would be what Kareem Hunt was going to be after 2018.
I agree. He's got that skill set, man. And he gets in the end
Catches
zone.
out of the backfield.
You get in the red zone, that dude's getting in the end zone.
He's 6 foot, 215-pound running back.
He kind of reminds me of David Montgomery.
Yes.
That's who he reminds me a lot.
Yes.
He just gets touchdowns. He finds the end zone, bro.
Yes.
I think he could be better than David Montgomery, and that's crazy to say. But
not to me.
Because David Montgomery was a late bloomer in the league.
I watched this dude
underutilized in Chicago, and then
I watched this dude break
Detroit.
Gale Sayers records.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
He is good, bro.
I think he gets slept on way too
It's
much.
easy for us to say because we're Kansas guys and we've watched a lot of his.
But we watched him.
But you can't deny what the dude does. Man.
Last year when we were talking to Jason Dunn and we were talking to the Williams brothers from All Chiefed Up.
Yeah.
They were nonstop talking about guys from Kentucky. Why?
Yeah.
Because they watched them.
Sure.
They live over there.
There's great running backs everywhere, man. But I do think, I think Devin Neal is one of the biggest reasons for the turnaround in Kansas too.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? The production he brings week in, week out, he's nails too. He's tough as shit. Yeah, that's a guy. I want a guy that's just going to run right through some motherfuckers.
At the same time, there are other guys that I would love to have, like Judkins,
more
Johnson.
Skilled, there's some more skilled running backs out there for sure.
Yes, and a guy could slip, a guy could fall further down than they expect, and the Chiefs are like, hey, fuck, we got to go trade up and get this guy, because that's what they did that with Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
In 2017, he fell into the middle of the third round. The Chiefs traded up to go get him because they loved him out of Toledo. And you saw what that did. For those first 2 years, he was a god in this offense. So, yeah, I think that their running back has to be a priority in this draft. That's the one position on offense the Chiefs have to draft this
They've gotten away from the running game too much in this offense, man.
Enough's enough.
Yeah.
Enough.
We saw how important even an older Kareem Hunt was when he got here.
Well, how about this?
How it changed the offense.
If you're about to spend, because I think Trey Smith right now, if I was to make a guess, I think his deal is like 4 years, $92 million, 60 plus guaranteed. I think that's what Trey Smith's about to get.
Yeah.
If you're about to spend that kind of generational wealth on a right guard that is more known for his running blocking than pass blocking, then you better start running the ball.
Yeah.
How about that, Andy? Run the fucking ball. Have a balanced offense.
Especially as good as our defense has been. I think our defense could be even better this next season.
Give them rest.
You know what I mean?
Extend drives. On 3rd and 1s, have your running back go and get those hard yards. Keep Kareem Hunt for that.
Hard yards. Let's go.
Keep Kareem Hunt and have a 3-down back plus Isaiah Pacheco for another year. Then all of a sudden you have a deep running back room.
Yep.
That's a great problem to have. And you're not spending any money. Isaiah Pacheco's making less than $1 million this year. You can get Kareem Hunt back for less than $2 million this year, and then you get a rookie in the 3rd round. You're spending $3 million, $4 million on your entire running back room.
Yep.
Oh, dude, sign me up for it. So yes, running back needs to be, I think, one of their first 3 to 4 picks, without question. Without question.
Julia Gulia follows that up with, and what we were just talking about. Do we see a decline in Pacheco, or was it just a bad year?
I think both are true. I think
he's hurt.
Yeah.
On top of all that, yeah. Sure.
But I do think that the best of Pacheco is behind him, and I know people are mad about that. Guys, running backs age very rapidly in this league,
especially running backs like him.
Yes, and an aggressive, angry style running back like him, who isn't exactly a big running back, their fire burns out quick. They're a candle that lights fast and then burns out fast. Yeah. I think Pacheco is playing his last season in Kansas City in 2025. I don't think they extend him. He has a lot of injuries, a lot of concerns. Love the kid, but they're not investing money in a guy they can't trust is going to be healthy. So, yeah, I think that Pacheco is going to have a good year next season. I don't expect him to have a 1,000-yard season, 12 rushing touchdowns, nothing like that. I'm expecting him to be a solid player, but would it honestly shock you, Trevor, he misses 5 to 10 games next season? It wouldn't shock me.
No.
This is why, again, go back to my previous point, drafting a stud running back in this draft is so important because you can't go months again with just Kareem Hunt in the backfield. I love Kareem Hunt. You guys know I'm the biggest fan of that man. He can't be your running back one at 30 years old. He can't be.
Short yardage and red zone back. That's what I love him for the most. But
yes.
James C. Kirk chimes in right as what we're talking about right now. I just wanted to get this one out of the way too. Why did we fall off the Isaiah Pacheco bandwagon? I still believe that little pop can play. Of course he can play, but I think he's more. I don't think he's a true lead back though, in my opinion. I like Isaiah Pacheco. I was never a true big fan of him, to be honest with you. I had a feeling he would fizzle out, but he's been great in the playoffs through his career. I'm not going to deny his numbers. He's definitely been a productive player for us. But he's not my type of back personally. But I don't think anyone's really fallen off the bandwagon. I just think his absence has created some distance in the love that we've kind of known. And then bringing Kareem Hunt back, that was a romanticized situation. I don't think there's a true fall off of the bandwagon of him. I just think, that's kind of the life of a running back, though. Outside of the elites, running backs come and go. The shelf life is so short. But I still believe in Pacheco, and he can contribute to this offense. Of course, he's a home run hitting kind of running back. He's the guy that we need. You need that thunder and lightning, right? You need that guy that you get him in space, he can hit a home run play at any moment. That's why we love him. But when it comes to the intermediate runs and trying to get short yardage, he hasn't been the best at that, if I'm being honest. He's hard to. He doesn't always beat that first contact. He kind of goes down to first contact a little too much, in my opinion, throughout his career. But
well, let me say this real quick.
Yeah,
Isaiah Pacheco is the perfect example of a fan favorite.
Sure.
Because let me first say that Isaiah Pacheco has already exceeded all expectation. This is a 7th round pick, and from day one became the starter of the Chiefs. Now, obviously, Clyde getting hurt didn't help things, but he exceeded expectations immediately. Making this team as a 7th round pick, you already beat the odds. 7th round picks are not supposed to make your roster. Those are flyer picks.
Right.
And this dude not only made the roster, but played a pivotal role in the Chiefs winning back-to-back Super Bowls. He played a pivotal role in those. I'll give him all the credit in the world. But the Chiefs have got to get better than Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah.
He's not a top 12 to 15 running back in this league today.
Yeah.
He had a time where he could have been, and he kept getting hurt.
Well, he's also a part of a great coaching crew and a great offense with a great quarterback.
Yeah,
I mean, those things help you as well.
And what I mean by the fan favorite aspect is he's so easy to love.
Yeah.
Because he's so passionate, so open to the fans.
Got a great story.
Yes, he's just like this cool kid, man. This lovable dude. I think if he was a quiet, kept away guy like Spencer Ware was, I don't think people would like Isaiah Pacheco as much or be making the cases like they are about Isaiah Pacheco. It's all about perception.
I love Spencer Ware, man.
Me and Spence go back. He called me Beard Man back then. I love Spence.
Love that
great dude. Anyway, so we had a good time together, and he's a great dude. But the Isaiah Pacheco is more of a fan favorite type of guy because he's a guy, like I said, that is so open to a fan base that loves their players already. But at the same time, the results have to be there. And right now, if we're being honest, Isaiah Pacheco is not stayed healthy enough to be a constant contributor, let alone a guy that deserves a second contract.
It's a brutal game, man.
Yes.
Get it. And I don't think he would have had the success if he played anywhere else other than Kansas City, in my opinion.
There's no question.
So,
and that's coming from an offense that doesn't run the ball very well.
Right. Julia Gulia, who do you have more faith in, Shenault or Cook?
Oh, Shenault.
Yeah.
I'm a big Brian Cook guy.
Man, Brian Cook made the best defensive player.
But Leo Shenault, I think it's Chanel, if I'm not being, I don't know what it is. Whatever it is.
It's Chenal, so Shenault, I don't know.
Mitch Holtis calls him Chanel. Anyway, whoever the fuck his last name is, Leo,
not an E, but
Mr. Leo is one of the best tacklers in football today. He's one of the greatest linebackers in football
He's
today.
one of the best athletes at the position in this league.
There's no question. If I had to choose right now, who do you pay? Leo Chanel.
Yeah.
There's no question.
Yeah, I would too.
And I love Brian Cook.
And go back to your point about DBs and safeties, we know how to find them, man.
Hello.
Leo is just a freak athlete and a guy. I think he's a Tobe favorite, if not Tobe's favorite player right now.
Right.
For what he did just this season, blocking 2 field goals is insane. So yeah, Leo's my dude. I got an autographed jersey. Shout out Starcade for getting me that. Love that guy. Big fan of him. I still think he's got a lot of growth that he can still become even more than what he already has been. Especially this past season was a big stepping stone for him. I still got a lot of faith that he could become a really, really significant player for this defense.
He's only 24.
Yeah. So I mean, the guy's a freak, man. The guy's energy. There's energy that doesn't stop either.
Yep.
So you get a guy with the motor like that, with the body and frame like he has. Those are guys you keep around for a long time, let alone for just special
another
teams.
mid-round pick.
Absolutely. James C. Kirk, DJ Humphries, or another left tackle, Trent Williams at 37. Thoughts?
Trent's going nowhere. He's going to retire a 49er. I think right now, if I'm placing my bet, I think the Chiefs are going to overcorrect and they're going to spend a lot of money at left tackle this year. I think that you're going to see a Cam Robinson or Ronnie Stanley in Kansas City making probably upwards of $20 million. That's my bet right now.
It's necessary.
And to talk about the right tackle position for just a second, I got to get Chiefs fans to understand something. Juwan Taylor can go nowhere. He's owed $19.5 million guaranteed
Don't
money.
really
this
want
year.
him to go anywhere, man. He's been good.
Juwan's been a good right tackle. I think that the whole false start stuff's just gotten in people's heads. But Juwan Taylor's been a very solid top 12 right tackle in football these last couple of years. Very solid.
Yeah.
Especially in pass game. He's been a great pass blocker. But the point I'm trying to make is, even if, let's say, Juwan Taylor sucked, the Chiefs cannot get out of his contract until 2026. So, guys, live with it. Juwan Taylor's going nowhere. I've seen a lot of people come at me, hey, why don't they just move off of Juwan Taylor? Because they literally can't, guys. He's got $19.5 million guaranteed coming his way this year, no matter what they do. You might as well play him.
Yeah. I just want to go to clear the air with E real quick. What are your thoughts on the offensive tackle Charles Cross talk, if he's available, since Seattle is rebuilding their team? Seattle is kind of falling apart, and sounds like they're going to scratch everybody and start over.
But at the same time, according to my guy Schultz, he's saying that the Seahawks are after Sam Darnold. So if they're going to go get a 28-year-old quarterback and try to build around for the future, why would they let crosswalk? That's nice. Why would they crosswalk? They would definitely pay a left tackle to stay. So I don't see that being the case. It's very confusing what the Seattle Seahawks are doing, because they don't have the capital to move forward. I don't think they do, to have them to move forward and go get a Cam Ward very early in the draft, or Shadur Sanders if they believe in him. So I don't really understand why moving off Geno made any sense for them. Because I'll be honest with you, I would take Sam Darnold. I would take Geno over Sam Darnold. Without a hesitation. Because Sam Darnold's had one great season in his career.
Same tier to me, but...
Dude, Sam Darnold had one great season in his entire career, and he so happened to play in Kevin O'Connell's offense with Justin Jefferson. And then he broke down at the end of the season. Geno Smith's led some offenses that have been pretty questionable through his career. He's had bad offensive lines. He's had good talent in Seattle, weapons-wise.
Sure.
But he's had to overcome a lot on the offensive line until they corrected that in 2023. But his first couple seasons in Seattle, I think Geno's a top 15 quarterback in this league. I do. I believe in Geno Smith. I believe in him. If I had to win one game in my life depended on it, and I had to choose between those two quarterbacks, I'd piss my pants, but I would pick Geno Smith.
Oh, yeah. If my life depended on it, I'm going with Geno.
Yeah.
But I think they're in the same tier, in my opinion. Mike Hayes, Geno Smith is trash. All right.
No, he is not. Geno Smith is a good quarterback.
He's definitely a volume thrower. I think he led the league in pass attempts this year too. But
he's a good quarterback.
Yeah,
he's like I would say like the guys I have above him right now are like Kirk Cousins. Like he's like right behind not Kirk Cousins. Baker Mayfield. Oh
no,
he's right behind Baker Mayfield.
Baker's way better.
Baker is better. Geno Smith is so underrated in this league.
Baker's way better than Geno Smith.
Nobody talks about Geno Smith because he's played up in Seattle. Dude, that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Geno Smith has become a very good quarterback.
He almost retired from the league because he was sucking.
And how's he been ever since?
He's been good.
He's been very good.
What has he won? He ain't won jack shit.
Okay, but let's be real. Change of head coaches.
If we're talking about him and Sam Darnold, that's cool. Those guys are on an even playing field.
I disagree. Sam's had one good season. Yeah, his entire career.
His season this year was better than any Geno season.
Okay, give Geno Smith Justin Jefferson and Kevin O'Connell's offense.
Sure, but I'm just saying.
Can you name me? Can you tell me Geno Smith's offensive coordinator?
He was a more highly touted player coming in the league as well. Does
Sam Darnold put those numbers up in Seattle?
Probably not. I mean, situation obviously matters, but I mean, I'm not gonna. I don't know. It's, clear the air with E says Geno Smith or Jameis Winston.
Geno Smith.
Give me Jameis. Let's go.
Oh, come on.
Jameis, baby.
Now you're just lying.
Give me that 30 for 30.
Come on.
Give me those 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions, bro.
Christ.
Dude, hey, I gotta lie though. Jameis Winston at the Super Bowl pressers was.
Yes, he's very
comedy gold,
Geno
bro.
is.
That dude has a future in that shit.
Yes.
That shit was just tossing them W cookies.
Yes.
God damn it, that was so fun. If he would have won the Super Bowl, that would have been way more fun to revisit. Okay. CL32 Alt, Cell32 Alt on YouTube. If Xavier Worthy has a domestic violence case, I don't even want him on this team anymore. Tired of these dumbass wide receivers. What do you think?
I think that we've done a pretty good job, and I don't want to speak of Trevor. I think we've done a pretty good job of expressing where we're at right now. It's a very nuanced situation.
Yep.
I will make it abundantly clear, because we're not ones to mince words here. If it is true that Xavier Worthy did what is accused, I do want him to serve time. I do want justice to be served, because no man should ever come to the point of almost killing a woman if she's innocent.
Yeah.
No, there's no defending that. I will not defend that at all. Let me make that abundantly clear. But as abundantly clear as I am about that, I will be as abundantly clear on the other side of it as well. That if she's lying about this, and there's some sort of extortion that's trying to go down,
It will be found out. I mean,
it will be found out. We will have evidence one way or the other.
People are not as smart as we give them.
And if we find out that she planned this or she tried to ruin his life, she should do time.
Or even if it was just in the moment, it comes out that she was in the moment, got caught doing something that she shouldn't have done, and she didn't want to leave the premises. She's now breaking the law.
So
That's his home.
whoever fucked up in all this, I want justice to be served. Let me make that abundantly. I will not defend Xavier Worthy if he fucked up.
Well, you can't be having violence against women, man.
No.
What are we doing, bro? It's 2025, bro. Fucking keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah, control yourself. Control yourself.
If that's the case.
But if he is in the innocent, if he is in the clear, and he did no wrong, then he should play week 1. He should be exonerated from all this, and I feel bad for him. So we're leaving it very much up in the air right now. But I'm with you. If he did this, I don't want him on the team either.
Yeah.
I don't want dudes on this team that are women beaters. I don't want that. Are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
I don't care how good of a football player you are. That is unexcusable behavior. That is below what a man is supposed to be in this world.
Yep.
You're supposed to be a protector, a provider. You're not supposed to be somebody that causes harm and makes people fear you from a violent perspective. You're an animal at that point. You're below human standards. So yeah, Trevor and I are very much in the middle right now, waiting for the facts to come out. We have our opinions on both sides, but they're consistent on both sides. Whoever fucked up deserves justice.
I mean, I will say one camp is definitely coming out far more aggressive pretty quickly.
Very true.
One camp is dead silent. So that's just, I'm just going to say that. That's where I'm at right now with that. Lonnie Pyramid. So
Hey,
we
Lonnie.
agree this O-line situation isn't just a patchwork thing. So he's saying, so do we agree that this O-line situation, basically saying that we need to take drastic measures than just kind of piecing together some names?
I would say that it's patchwork when you look at the fact that the Chiefs, on 3 of their 5 guys so far, are all heavily invested in. They gave Juwan Taylor a huge contract, they're about to give Trey Smith a huge contract, and they gave Creed Humphrey a huge contract. Kingsley, if he balls out, guess what he's going to get? A huge contract.
I think Kingsley's going to be good, guys.
I agree. I definitely.
I think he's going to be a really good guard in this league.
And if you don't talk about the future contract, maybe him, the fact is they went and traded up for him in the 2nd round.
Yeah.
So they heavily invested in him as well. So 4 of their 5 positions right now are based on monetary funds or high draft assets. So this is not patchwork. Does it feel like that right now because they just traded Joe Thuney? Yes.
That's what he's saying. He's saying it isn't just a patchwork.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Sorry.
was theorizing it was patchwork.
Enunciate very well.
No, this is not. Yeah, I agree 100%. This is not patchwork at all. This is the Chiefs getting their offensive line in a better position. That's what it is. And again, they got to hit left tackle, and I think that's why they're going to go vet. That's why they're going to go vet the veteran route because it is a bigger risk to go with a rookie left tackle. But I would say this: if this was a better left tackle class, I would probably still stand on my business and say, no, still go get that next Trent Williams. Go get that next, Laramie Tunsil. Go get that next Willie Rofe. You know what I mean?
Go get Ronnie Stanley though, man.
Yeah.
Go get that, and then we'll figure it out from there. I think that's a great start. I think you gotta throw the dollar signs and make it rain on one of these big fellas.
Exactly.
Right. So yeah, we gotta do. Protect Pat at all costs. Dustin Orton, speak it. What do you think of heel John Cena? LOL.
I will say, I did not see that coming.
I love the memes and pictures that have been going around of his evil face.
Yeah, dude. His
big ass ears.
He's turning into Ernest.
He's old, bro.
He looks
He's looking
like Ernest,
old.
dude.
I know.
Ernest goes to
He's
camp.
got that monkey butt shit going on in the back of his head. Now.
He's still ripped as shit, but yeah.
Oh, bro, of course.
Bro,
Homie's juiced out of
he's
his
looking
mind.
old, man. It's hilarious. But I will say this. I love that they did this finally because I think it wrecks the worlds of a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Because he's like Mr. Make-A-Wish, and it's kind of fun that they're doing this. I think this has a lot. This screams The Rock.
Yeah.
Because The Rock is, I don't know if you heard, he's a big owner now in the WWE. He has a lot of say in creative control.
And he's Mr. Hollywood, so he's got a lot of script ideas.
I like it, dude. I'm kind of a fan of this because this opens up new avenues for what they want to do in the future. I'm starting to get I'm starting to get more interested in the WWE again.
I wish I could agree. I'm not.
But this is cool though.
Yeah,
this is fucking cool.
I mean, and John Cena is such a big character and big personality. I'm a big fan of John Cena.
Sure.
The person, the
He's
actor, the
hilarious,
wrestler.
dude.
Yeah, he's kind of great at everything he does. Kind of like how The Rock is.
And he speaks Japanese. Like, how awesome is
He's
this
just
guy?
a cool
He's
dude, man.
cool as
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. So, but yeah, I've been getting a kick out of all the memes and the pictures that are going around of him with his little evil face and his little frown. It looks so forced because it's so not natural to him because he's like the nicest possible dude.
He's an angel, dude.
It's so funny. But I think this is great for wrestling. I think this is great for wrestling fans. I think it gives him, it flips the kind of the world on its head with him being who he's always been. Yep. Now this is it's a cool dynamic shift.
But I do think there's gonna be a full circle of this. I think that he's gonna get his redemption arc. Sure. Yeah, I think there's gonna be a redemption arc.
Sure. But yeah, appreciate you, Dustin, there for breaking the mold of this conversation today so far. Dark Star on YouTube. Will Rice be available week 1 or do we not know yet?
I'm going to take a bet and say probably not. I think that because of the fact that the NFL's had a long time to really get all evidence collected and get this whole story corrected, I think that they're going to have something before the season in place. If this happened this offseason, I do think he plays week 1, and then we find out throughout the season. Because I think, honestly, I'm going to be really, Trevor, and this is just all on my own speculation. If Rashi wouldn't have got hurt last season, I think there's a chance he may have gotten a suspension last year. And I know they said, well, the jury wasn't done with all their stuff. The NFL, though, I think wanted to act quick on this because they didn't want to see Rashi out there playing all season long and having that over the umbrella. Because let's say the Chiefs get to the Super Bowl, obviously, last year with Rashi Rice there. Imagine the questions. Because they let that free range of questions from those weirdos out there.
Yeah.
Imagine the questions that would be asked to Rashi Rice. The NFL does not want that.
That's true.
So I would be curious as to how much different things would have been handled had he not blown his knee out. So I do think they will act swiftly in this situation. I do think by week 1 we will have an idea of how long Rashi will be out. I'm sticking to 4 to 6 weeks. I think he misses all of September. That's where I'm at right now. I think that's okay because it honestly gives his knee more time to heal too, if we're being honest.
Yeah, Micah Hayes chimes in and says, FYI, Rice did the I Am Athlete pod and said he is rehabbing in South Florida because of the doctor, trained staff, and to stay out of trouble in the home cities of Dallas and Philly.
Sometimes you got to stay out away from home, bro.
You got to do what's best for you.
Trevor and I have lived our whole lives in Kansas City.
Look out for you, bro. So I like that he's doing that.
Absolutely. Trevor and I, we've lived our whole lives in Kansas City. If we felt that this city was just a bad influence on us and we could not become the men we needed to be, would we not move?
Yeah, I'm trying to move, man. I'm trying to move.
I'm saying, you'd have to get out of them. Sometimes you got to get out of that environment because there's bad influences, man. There's bad vibes, bad memories of just what continues to bring you down. So he needs to stay out of Dallas-Fort Worth area. Stay the hell out of Dallas-Fort Worth area, bud. Yeah. Do what you got to do.
Micah Hayes, should that 4th round pick we got in the Thuney trade been a pick should that 4th round pick we got in the Thuney trade been a pick in this year's draft, not to 2026?
Again, you have to understand what the Bears were taking on. They're taking on a 33-year-old guard who they have to pay a lot of money to.
Yeah.
So the Chiefs had to be realistic about what they were getting back. Here's the blessing in disguise here, guys. That 4th round pick, even if they sit back, could be a really good player that Brett Veach gets next year. Or they use that pick and move up to because the Chiefs right now don't have a 5th round pick.
Right.
Maybe they give somebody that 4th round pick next year and they get a 5th round pick this year. That could be a blessing in disguise where all of a sudden the Chiefs have more picks in this draft based on that pick. So I understand it doesn't look great. Everyone's expecting a 2nd and a 4th for a Joe Thuney. That's not realistic, guys. Yeah. You're giving up a 33-year-old guard who's going to be expensive. That's a big risk for a team to take on. So they weren't giving up, prized possession assets to get him. They were giving up enough with what they gave up in the $16 million in cap space that the Chiefs got in return is what we need to focus on the most. That's the biggest win of it all.
That's going to go towards paying a left tackle.
Exactly.
A left tackle that Starcade Media has no interest in or part. Starcade Media chimes in and says, I want no part of Ronnie Stanley or Cam Robinson. Injury prone and expensive. DJ has to be the guy. You get good at left tackle and can save like 10 to 12 million to spend elsewhere. Look, that's not a bad argument. I get that side of it. But we're also talking about extending DJ, who is coming off a significant injury.
Right.
Like you got to
and he's older than both of those guys.
It's kind of a non-starter in my opinion. Starcade. I'm not sure who it is behind that the comment there, but listen, all these guys honestly are injury-prone players at this point in their careers because these guys have. And if we're being honest, DJ probably had the most significant injury of all of these guys so far because he had to rehab and take a whole damn near offseason, and the team that had him didn't even want to bring him back.
And if we're doing what we've done for me lately, Cam Robinson and Ronnie Stanley were healthy all last year.
Right, and Ronnie Stanley's been better, in my opinion. I know,
it's not even close.
So
Ronnie Stanley's a better tackle.
Yeah, I mean, but listen, it's a risk. Any one of these three guys, it's a risk. But I'm going to take the best of the three, in my opinion. And I will pay. I think it's worth paying. We got to pay up for quality. I do like DJ Humphries. I'm not going to act like I don't. I was excited when we signed him during the season. But do I trust that he'll be? We haven't seen enough from him. Does he still have it after that? The injury. So we know Ryan Stanley can sustain injuries through the year, but he still tends to be available when you need him the most. And he's been a guy that's been really good throughout his career, and he's protected some like I said, some good quarterback play and mobile quarterbacks. So I mean, I trust Veach to make the right decision here.
If DJ Humphries is the guy, the veteran, the Chiefs sign, then they're not done at left tackle this year. Because that can't be cannot be your headliner.
Or we're drafting another one in the draft.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they would have to still draft a left tackle in the first round.
Yeah.
Because that was my whole wish list. I said, if you want to sign DJ Humphries, fine.
Which I would still got to draft. If we did that too, but at the same time, I'd feel a little more secure and confident going in the next season if we did go get a solid vet.
Right.
That's where I'm at.
Right.
So, and I think that's how Veach kind of does it. That's how he did it last time.
Starkey is right. There are injury concerns about those two guys, but there are injury concerns about DJ Humphries too. It's not like we're sitting here talking about an unblemished 31-year-old DJ Humphries who just happened to be on the market. If that was the case, he had no knee injury or anything like that, he'd probably be at the top of my list too.
Right.
But he had a long and what's he do when he finally gets healthy with the Chiefs? He pulls a hammy, and we never see him again.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Talking about injury prone. I mean, he literally couldn't be on the field.
Right.
Last comment. Bumpa BB, is DK Metcalf a need? Worthy might be released, and Rice might never be the same after the knee injury, and he'll be suspended.
Is DK Metcalf a need?
We're not trading for a receiver at this point.
No,
man.
Look,
we're signing small deals. Especially now that we know we just brought back Hollywood.
We have to understand something. The Chiefs don't have enough draft capital right now to make that type of trade. If they're trying to have a good draft,
more picks right now.
Yes, the Chiefs need to have a good draft this year, right? Okay. That means they're going to have to try to keep as many picks as they possibly can, plus try to add more.
Yeah.
Why do you think I keep talking about trading Trent McDuffie? Because you need more picks, not less. But even if you could get let's say you could get DK Metcalf with the picks the Chiefs have right now, the Chiefs would then have to turn around and pay DK Metcalf $25+ million a year.
Yeah, we're not doing that,
and they're not doing it because they've yet to do it with anybody. They tried to with Tyreek Hill, but Tyreek Hill was worth that pick. I think that DK Metcalf is worth $25 million a year, but I don't think he's getting here in Kansas City is what I'm saying. So the Chiefs are not going to give up the draft capital necessary to get DK on his final year of his deal to then extend him on money they don't want to give him. I would love DK Metcalf in this office. Trevor, you and I had these debates round and round about how I would trade Trent McDuffie straight up right now for DK Metcalf. And you know what? I still stand by that. But that's not going to happen. But that's not going to happen. Yeah. It's not going to happen. It's just so I hate to tell fans this because I don't want to give you guys. I don't want to like shit on your hopes. But when it comes to wide receiver this year, Hollywood Brown and down. That's what it is. The next guy the Chiefs sign is going to be a Tyler Lockett or an Elijah Moore or Juju Smith-Schuster or all three. I don't know. It just will not be one of these high-profile Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen. It won't be any of those guys. Those guys are all about to make serious cash. Even Darius Slayton. Darius Slayton's going to make $18 million a year somewhere. That's what's going to happen. Chiefs are not paying that kind of money for any wide receiver out there.
Yeah, we're just going to draft another one probably late in the draft, 5th round or 6th round.
Well, because they know that they've invested heavily in the draft in two receivers that are currently in the middle of trouble.
Right.
Rashid Rice and Xavier Worthy. If they were to try to, if there's anybody they wanted to pay, it'd be those two guys. But they're using draft capital on those two guys, and those two guys can't stay out of trouble, at least that we think right now. So, yeah.
Well, that is it for the people, man. That was a lot of questions. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you, Micah Hayes, and everybody else that was chiming in with multiple questions. Appreciate you guys, man.
Absolutely, man. Great speaking, guys. Great. It's good to be back, period. And we appreciate you guys every single week when you guys make this show as fun as it is. And I tell you the top, tell you the bottom of every single show. Go to youtube.com if you've not already done it. Go to the Spoken Podcast. Hit us up on there. Hit notify, share, subscribe. All those buttons we very much appreciate. Like, all that stuff. It really does help. The one that helps the most, without question, is when you guys get in the comments. You guys, when we're live streaming, you're live chiming. We appreciate every time you guys jump in and participate in the show. You become a part of the show, a very big and integral part of the show. We thank you every single time you guys do so. Make sure to do that next week and tell your friends about us as well. And tell your friends to go and do the same thing that you just did. Trevor, we have one more order of business to get to. What is it called?
Hold this L.
Each and every episode, we finish up every single episode with a series of L's in the world of sports. Whether those L's are friendly L's or not so friendly L's in the world of sports, we promise you, who is ever holding those L's in the world of sports, deserve those L's in the world of sports. Trevor Twidwell, who's holding the L for you this week.
All right, so I'm starting to finally get into the thick of the NBA.
Yep.
And there's always news in the NBA, man. There's so many, especially nowadays with social media, and everybody has a podcast now. There's always guys getting a chance to express their opinions on their own platforms now, which I love. There's one guy I don't love that gets to express his opinions, and for some reason people try to make this guy out to be some kind of intellectual and smart individual, and I have never understood why, and I've never agreed. Draymond Green is getting my L today. He continues to just be a guy who puts his own foot in his mouth, his own fist in his teammates' faces. This is who this guy's become. I'm sure some of you guys have been seeing the story with the Karl-Anthony Towns trash talk that Draymond Green was, alluding to and putting out there. Draymond Green went on his podcast claiming Karl-Anthony Towns missed New York's matchup with Golden State due to beef with Jimmy Butler, but he missed the game due to going to a funeral of a close family friend, and Draymond didn't take accountability of being wrong. I'm going to go ahead and play you guys this clip real quick. By the way, this is Draymond Green accusing Karl-Anthony Towns of ducking the Golden State Warriors because Jimmy Butler was in the building.
Today had a cat. Some would say he didn't play because Jimmy was in the building. It's like that. I'll tell you what, I saw Cat Pops yesterday at the game, and it's always love. I got mad love for the OG. His Pops is an incredible man. But yeah, they said Cat ain't play because Jimmy came into town. And him and Jimmy had the infamous practice in Minnesota. Oh, yeah. And so, that's the thing. I don't know. That's a conspiracy theory says he was hurt. I don't know what was hurt. I didn't look that deep into it to figure out what his injury was or nothing like that. But shit like that be happening, bro. That's the history.
Okay, and then so now we do now know that wasn't the case, and that was a rumor that Draymond Green was spreading, whether it was from himself as the source or sources that he claims he had that was saying that it was because he was ducking the Warriors. Didn't seem to be the case, but he was then asked to maybe rescind the comment or try to maybe, reel that back in as far as what his accusation was after the game when when the truth was brought forth to him and he was actually told why Karl-Anthony Towns was actually not in attendance for that game, and this was his response.
Did you reaction today to your comments about Cat? No. Are you aware of what the circumstances were? No. What's the circumstances? Apparently, he said he was at a funeral for a family friend. Oh man, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. But my comments that I made was what I heard was this. That's what I heard. So I do, send my wishes to him and his family. None of us. It's inevitable. We all experience death in one way or another, and we'll all experience it in the same way one day. So it's unfortunate. You never wish that on anybody, but the Draymond Green show with Baron Davis must go on. So I definitely wish him well and wish their family well and grieving.
Draymond Green is a moron, bro. I don't know how else to put it. And this isn't even I'm not even trying to come to Cat's defense or try to make this a somber moment for the loss. This is just a lack of integrity for one.
Self-awareness.
Just a lack of human decency. He could have apologized there.
Yep.
Talking about, and then he's promoting the show, the Draymond Green Baron Davis show must go on. Bro, what? You're taking this opportunity to double down on your ignorance. It's just, I just don't understand. And this guy has one of the biggest voices in the NBA, right. Draymond Green, for some reason. We criticize all these other stars for speaking their mind. We criticize LeBron every chance we get, who has a spotless track record as not only an individual but a player. And I'm trying to make this about LeBron, but other players that are but then we want to keep highlighting this guy and like keep giving this guy stages and microphones to speak on all these different platforms, all these different shows and podcasts he does. And it's like, bro, I just don't get it. Like the dude's not smart. He's not smart like intellectually, in my opinion, and he's not smart consciously as a human being. Like being able to read a room and knowing when to apologize and knowing like that. That's like the opposite of what a man should be, in my opinion. What he just displayed there, just no integrity, in my personal opinion. Like someone, I couldn't imagine the tables were turned and someone was talking shit on him and he just lost a close family member or family friend. Like imagine how much he would have been bitching, bro. It's just crazy with the shoes on the other foot, this lack of just integrity, in my opinion, on this guy. And this is just another reason to just honestly dislike him. He's gonna go down as a Hall of Fame player.
Yep. But
the dude is very, very, very dislikable for me. I just don't like him. I don't think he's a good person, in my opinion. I don't think he's a good person. And he continues to show me examples that give me reasons to continue to believe that. So for that, Draymond Green, do me a solid favor, my guy, and hold this L.
I'm so glad I didn't go with that one. I was actually thinking about doing that myself. But there's someone that's even worse than believe it or not, and it's the messaging isn't the same, but this guy is just as bad, if not worse. And I don't mean to criticize people just so blatantly and everything, but I do mean all disrespect when I say that Rick Bucher's an absolute idiot.
I used to like that guy too.
This caveman is just an absolute moron. And I lost all respect for Rick years ago when I saw that he is one of the bought and paid for Michael Jordan pundits.
This is fact.
There are dudes that are literally paid by the Michael Jordan Foundation that are paid to keep the narrative where it is. Michael Wilbon's one of them. Stephen A. Smith is clearly like the headline of them all, and guys like Rick Bucher. They are literally paid to do this. This is a clown act. And the thing he's doing now isn't even just about the Michael Jordan debate and LeBron debate, which, by the way, said that somehow LeBron playing this great at 40 years old is hurting his GOAT legacy. But also on Speak this week, Rick Bucher decided to also say that LeBron isn't an all-time Laker great, and this was his reasoning.
Paul, as a dude from Inglewood, as a lifelong Lakers fan, the fact that you are setting the bar so low to be a Laker all-time great, come on, man.
I'm just saying.
It's got to be, to just the entry fee.
What's the entry
is
fee?
10 years of service.
Now he'll get that.
And at least 3 championships.
Well, with the 10 years of service.
So what are you saying? So all right, let me ask you.
Right. And he's 26 years old. So exactly.
Is LeBron
That's
an all-time Laker great?
What's that?
Is LeBron an all-time Laker?
No. Are you kidding me?
No.
For what?
Now, Paul, I love LBJ.
So LeBron is not an all-time Laker.
He's an all-great, but he's an all-time great, but he's not an all-time Laker great.
Laker great.
He's got one title.
All-time Laker.
He passed Kareem in a Laker uniform.
Yeah, but that
no. That's what he's done a bunch of things in a Laker uniform, but he didn't do them in a Laker uniform.
I'm kind of with you on that one, Paul.
I'm just saying.
I'm with you on.
He's won a championship in a Laker uniform.
I understand that, Paul.
Okay. Hey, is LeBron going to have a statue outside the stadium?
Hell no.
You don't think LeBron will have a statue?
Outside of stadium or whatever you want to
look at like you have to think about.
So there you have it. There's the criteria from one Rick Bucher on what makes you an all-time Laker great. You have to have 10 years of service and you need to win at least 3 titles. You know what? With the standards of a franchise like the Lakers or the Yankees, those profoundly great blue blood organization of champions, you know what? That doesn't sound too bad, right? But there's just one problem. See, if we were to go by that criteria, these former names wouldn't qualify as all-time great Lakers. How about Shaquille O'Neal? He only played 8 years with the Lakers. How about Jerry West, who only won 1 title? In fact, went 1-9 with the Lakers and still is the logo of the NBA. How about Wilt Chamberlain? What about Gail Goodrich? What about Pau Gasol, Elgin Baylor, Bob McAdoo, Jamal Wilkes? None of those guys seem to be all-time Laker greats. See, this is where it's now come. This is where we're at. LeBron has been great for so long And we talk about, what about peak versus peak? LeBron's had a 20-year peak. He's not slowing down. He just won Player of the Month, averaging better numbers than he did in his prime years when he last won MVP 10+ years ago.
Dude is beating Father Time, bro.
And now it's gotten so bad. These narrative drivers have gotten so desperate for anything they can clasp onto that they're now trying to diminish the greatness of other all-time greats that they used to defend. You're telling me right now this criteria negates over half of the Hall of Famers that the Lakers have had throughout time. And these are 3-4 of the 5 best players in their history. Just to diminish and downgrade and disrespect what LeBron's doing and has done? You guys do understand that LeBron is 2 years away from being a decade in the Lakers organization, right? He's 2 years away. He's going to do that. And how hilarious would it be, Trevor, is if he gets the 10 years of service and manages to win a couple more titles with Luka Doncic as like the headliner of the team? Then they're going to try to play it as, well, he wasn't the man of the team.
He was carried.
He was only averaging 26, 8, and 7 on 52%
At
shooting.
43.
Yeah. What a shit. You guy sucks. That hurts his legacy.
Yeah.
Played 28 years in the league. Sucks.
Yeah.
27 straight seasons of averaging 25 points per game. What a scrub. What we're watching, guys, like I tell everybody all the time, you don't have to be a fan of LeBron James to admire the fact that what we're seeing is unlike anything we've ever seen and is unlike anything we're ever going to see again in sports. We praise the crap out of Tom Brady for what he did, as we should have. Dude was 45 years old, still throwing for 4,700 yards. That's unreal. But what LeBron is doing, just the other night, watch them play the Knicks, right? And we didn't even talk about this, about him confronting Stephen A. Smith right in the middle of the game, which, by the way, loved it. Should give him a W for that. In fact, W for LeBron for it. They're down like 10 points in that game. LeBron James out there, still playing like he normally does, goes out there, corrects Stephen A. Smith, leads his team back to a victory, and that's what, 17 of 20 games they've won? LeBron James still doing it at that level.
Second in the West.
Second in the West now. And we have guys like Charles Barkley out here saying they've only played 2 good weeks. The real story is the Thunder and the Cavs. Yes, the Thunder and the Cavs are the 2 best teams in the league. They have no intrigue. No one wants to talk about them because there's nothing interesting about those teams.
Yeah, it's not
just
that
like
hard.
the Spurs of yesteryear. Yes, the Spurs won 5 titles, but nobody talked about them. Why? Because there was no intrigue to those teams. There was no sizzle. The NBA and people that follow the NBA, people that don't follow the NBA, they're drawn in by what? Casual fans are drawn in by what? The sizzle. More people started watching the NFL last year. Why, Trevor? Or last 2 years? Why? Because Taylor Swift was attached to it.
I feel like that Charles Barkley take, not to take away from your conversation,
No, you're good.
but Charles Barkley's take was, there was projection from his life and his career.
He's turning into a sad old
He was
curmudgeon,
overshadowed by MJ the whole time. They were the sexier team. They had all the headlines. Charles Barkley was a great player, but his team was never the team that people were talking about like that.
Yeah, he never won a title.
That felt like projection to me.
Yes, that's all it
Like
is.
Deep pent up projection.
That's why when LeBron talks about some of the things he talks about how I don't want to be the face of the league or anything because all we do is get shit on by the media and the old guys, because this generation, like Kevin Durant, LeBron, Steph, all those guys have done nothing but praise and admonish the guys that came before them.
It's supply and demand.
And those guys before them were shit on them.
The consumer tells you what to talk about.
Right.
If the talking heads on TV were talking about the Cavs and the Thunder all the time, the ratings would go down.
No.
Straight up, bro. That's how this works. It's show business. It's not that hard, Chuck. You should know.
Guys like I said, guys like Chuck, guys like Stephen A., Michael Wilbon, and Rick Bucher here, they are televangelists for the narrative that is bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's getting older and dumber and just it's making less and less sense as time is going on, because like Trevor said, LeBron continues to throw right hooks and landing at Father Time. He's the only guy in sports history that's made Father Time bleed. He's the only one.
Made him bleed his own blood.
He's making Father Time bleed his own blood. And for guys like Rick Bucher here to still sit here and talk like LeBron is somehow a disappointment or isn't an all-time Laker great, when that is just absolutely, completely false, because he's done more than half of the greats in Laker history have already done. He's surpassing a lot of them in totals and championships. He's already got a championship. He has the same amount of championships Rick Barry does. And we look at Rick Barry as this all-time great Laker. He should be Laker lore. He has more championships than Elgin Baylor did. Like, what are we doing? It's absurd. Rick Bucher and your six head, do me a solid, brother, and hold this L, because it's just absolutely absurd for what you did on this, man.
For sure.
We're going to, like I said, guys, we're going to continue to, as soon as I get off this live stream, I'm going to be getting on the phone, trying to get some more information on what's going on. We'll be posting on Facebook and on Twitter. You have the information right there at the bottom of the screen of where you can find us. If you've not already joined our Facebook group, if you're not following me on Twitter, if you're not following our show on Twitter, go ahead and change that today. But more importantly, get on our YouTube channel as well. We definitely appreciate and love the support that we've been getting there as well. But we're not done. We need more there until we continue to monetize this thing and turn this new studio place into something we're really trying to turn it into, guys. We want to make this experience as fun for you guys every single week, and we want you guys to feel like you're a part of the show every single week, because you literally are. That is why it's called The Spoken. It's a community-driven show. You guys are a part of the show just as much as Trevor and I are. So we appreciate every single one of you, and it's been, according to Trevor, this is one of our highest rated, if not our highest rated show that we've ever had. So tip of the cap to you guys, man. I know that the news this morning probably helps that out a lot, but we take it, and we take it gratefully, man. We are so grateful for every single one of you that participates in these shows every single week. We're glad to be back, and we will be back 1 week's time from now. But in the meantime, for Trevor Twidwell, for the great Clay Wendler that puts all this together on the back end of things, for the entire Starcade Media family, I am Lance Twidwell. Episode 306 of the Spoken Podcast is done, finished, and finito. And until we're back here in 1 week's time for 307, talking about whatever the hell is going on. Hopefully it's all positive things. We out of this bitch.
Later.